I see her rolling up, Uber black Cadillac, high heel boots and a sexy body.
So for some reason, lately, when I export reviews and videos, it's taking excessively long, and I don't know why. Now, I thought it was what happened last week when we were recording, and it was
Right.
doing an update, which caused those weird glitches in the audio last week during our Batman discussion. But
Where it sounded extremely muted.
well, not even that, but whenever it was like really garbled there for a while, and then we completely lost everything for a while. It was all doing a data update, but I don't know what's going on. Like I even have the GPU acceleration is on, but I mean it's a 20 minute review, and it said it was going to take an hour and 45 minutes to export. I'm like, that ain't normal.
I
So-
think I know what it is.
What?
You've angered the karma gods, and this is your punishment.
Oh yeah, it's all my racist conversation about Batman is what it is. It pissed off.
Oh yeah, that could be it too.
That's
yeah.
what it is. Yeah.
You're such a racist.
I try not to be.
Even-
So, either way. So, before we really get rolling, I did want to ask you guys something interesting that I thought about the other day. And so
Okay.
this is for the group to answer. What is your Mount Rushmore of big robots?
I gotta write them down, so go ahead.
Okay, I'll go first.
Okay.
So you guys can think about this. So I'm gonna say right off the bat, Optimus Prime.
Right.
In general, just gotta have Optimus Prime. I'm
Right.
gonna say the Power Rangers Dino Megazord,
Okay.
Voltron,
Oh yeah.
and Gurren Lagann.
Ah, wait. Which Voltron? Vehicle or
Original,
Lion?
the only one that matters. Go Lion,
The vehicle ones are so cool too.
go Lion. Oh,
All right, fine.
there you go. So that would be my 4 right there.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's give you an idea of range
Okay.
of both fiction and size.
Let me see. Okay, with me it would be Jazz from Transformers because
Obviously.
I'm a sucker for Porsche, right? And I've always loved Jazz, right? He was like one of my most favorite Transformers.
Yep.
Oh God. Any robot, huh? Okay. Optimus, just because, leader of the Autobots, and he's kind of like that whole Abe Lincoln vibe, care about everybody kind of bot.
Technically, Megatron was Abe Lincoln.
Well, yeah, true. Yeah, see, there you go, right? So it fits right in.
Optimus is more
Gurren
like
Lagann,
okay. So that's 3.
essentially, because it's like one into another, so it goes beyond Unicron scale.
It really does.
Oh yeah, and ever since I saw that 1-to-1 scale Gundam in Yokohama, damn, that looks so tempting to actually want one.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So you're gonna
and not in that particular order.
okay. Well, yeah, it's just not an order. It's just these would be on the mountain.
Yeah,
So that's Jazz, Optimus, Gurren Lagann, and the original RX-78 Gundam.
yes.
Okay. Which is funny considering I basically have a Gundam channel and I put no Gundam on the fucking mountain.
So you know exactly what
and
Gundam I'm
and
talking about.
I just reviewed an RX-78.
There you go.
Sean,
You know what? Even if it was Unicorn Gundam,
still good.
like that, and the one in Yokohama, God,
Mhm.
I'd be happy with that too. It
Yeah.
doesn't really matter. It could be any Gundam. So
Well, no, you got to be specific because there's so many.
there's hundreds.
Yes. All right, figured it out yet, Sean?
Okay, so mine's gonna be Go Line Voltron.
All right.
It's gonna be the Dino Megazord.
Mhm.
Optimus Prime.
Okay.
Right.
Way to be
And the
original.
RX-78. Yeah, RX-78 Granddaddy.
That's funny. You're a mix of us. That's funny.
Yeah.
There you go. So Sean is actually the better version of my answer for my channel. So just go with that. So Sean's right up front there.
You are one of us.
So who? Well, where would you be your honorary mention then?
Oh.
Yeah. So the guy who didn't get a mountain, but he's got a little bust down at the bottom.
Man, my gut wants me to pick another Transformer, which would be Megatron, but I'm trying to think of another theme, another something that's not Transformers or that was mentioned.
Yeah.
I would pick vehicle Voltron. Everybody mentions like line Voltron. Don't get me wrong, line Voltron is awesome,
Yeah.
and it was the first Voltron that I was introduced to. But you get a lot of vehicles with vehicle Voltron, and I thought it just looked really cool too.
That's a fair answer. I mean, there's no wrong answer here.
No,
It's
true.
this is your shit, yeah. So there's no wrong answer.
Plus, it had those really glowy shurikens, that just formed on the shoulders, right?
The helicopter blades.
Yeah, I mean, I just thought that was like so cool.
What else you got, Shaun?
So honorable mention. How about like a busted ass boulder to the side? We can go ahead and throw leader 1 on him. We'll just spray paint him because we don't care that much.
Ah, you're going GoBots.
Yeah.
Even after you made fun of GoBots a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
On
Gobatrons.
on this very podcast.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll just spray paint him on a rock to the side.
There we go.
There you go.
There you go. Spray painted thing off to the side.
No,
That's
he really is a golden nugget.
Oh, that's funny. That's really funny.
Oh yeah.
Here's the bad thing. I gotta look around.
Hashtag comic relief.
I gotta come
Crusader.
up with my own answer now. That's the problem. Because there's so many, and the funny thing is, I'm actually really not leaning towards Gundam because I know there's others that are like in there.
Oh, for sure.
No, I don't. I wasn't gonna go there. And, like, part of me actually wanted to say the Netflix Voltron. Because the final version of that, when he's combined with the Atlas, is also pretty badass.
That's not bad.
But I don't know.
It was a pretty good reboot.
I love that. I love it. I think it was a really good new take on it with the same kind of concept. I thought it was fantastic. I'm sitting there trying to think because I'm looking around the room at all the fucking robots I've got in here. Okay, so honorable mention, not technically a big robot, but one that had an impact on me as a child.
Right.
Johnny 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your mother was a snowblower.
Yeah, and yeah.
That is a good movie.
What did and your dad and your father was a toaster or something? What was it? Yeah. Well, I mean, technically, it was the snow is technically the answer to that joke, but I like for an honorable mention of some type of robot. I think that's a pretty decent one. Because I'm trying to think, I was like, are there any others that I have?
What about the Terminator?
I mean, maybe, but because it's not a specific one, like you would have to pick which one of the Terminators you're going to talk about. True. Are you talking about the T-800? Are you talking about the T-1000? Are you talking about the T-101? Which version of said Terminator would you go for?
Yeah, there are quite a bit.
And that's technically a cyborg in a way, so that doesn't necessarily count. Since it has real living flesh over it. I'm trying to think if there's more from anime that I'm just completely not thinking of. Like, because there's stuff from like Aldnoah Zero and stuff like that. Those mechs are pretty neat, but I don't think they have that big of an impact in the same way.
What about Ed 209?
Yeah, I mean, Ed 209 is pretty cool, but doesn't mean that much to me. Personally.
It does to me.
Oh, if it does, then that's fine. I mean, it's just
because I mean, when that came out in '87, I was like 15, right?
Yeah.
And to see and obviously, I know it was stop motion animation,
but it's still good.
When that just walked in the room, ka-clomp, 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 and you hear that growl and that deep voice, you have 10 seconds to comply, and then basically shoots Botty up, goes flying out the window.
Yeah,
that's an impact.
Yeah.
First of all, I don't mean literally on the pavement,
Wait, I do have a question though.
Badass robot.
So, slight tangent from that. How did they get Ed 209 into that boardroom?
I know. I always thought that too.
Because they couldn't do stairs, right?
Yeah. It's like there's got to be a service elevator somewhere.
There would have to be, but then the hallways of that office building would have to be massive for that thing to get around. I mean, like
exactly.
I mean, it was big for that type of robot, but
unless they just brought them up in parts and assembled them up there, I don't know.
Yeah, because I'm trying to think. Like, I know there's other big robots. Like, I was also trying not to pull from the same franchise more than once if I could.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's the hard part.
Yeah,
It is too.
because there's so many that are just that good.
What about
Um,
the Iron Giant?
I thought about the Iron Giant, but I've
I love Iron Giant.
actually never seen the whole movie.
What
Really?
about Mighty Orbots?
What?
The Mighty Orbots?
Oh, the
I,
Mighty
I don't know
Orbots.
what
Oh
the
my
fuck that
god.
is.
Oh my god! You
That
don't know
was
what the
like
Orbots are?
What are the
like
Mighty
forever
Orbots?
ago.
Hold
Oh
on.
yeah, man, it was a thing in the '80s. It was awesome. They
Oh,
Yeah.
pretty much copied. Is it God Mars? I think was the robot they kind of copied.
I
It's
think
four individual robots that combine to a combiner, a big guy, and they're piloted by
oh,
two
I see it.
humans.
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely. I
yeah.
haven't. Oh, wait a minute. Whoa, whoa,
You,
whoa. This looks familiar.
you
Hold
need
on.
to watch the opening to the show. It has a badass opening.
It is too.
Oh, I like how that one
Um
basically looks like the what is it? The Metropolis Gold robot that they based C3PO on. Oh yeah, it really does really much rip off God Mars. Like it's so close to God Mars. It's definite rip off. But no,
Well, that's
I
why the
have
show
never
ended.
seen this.
Yeah, they got
no,
the
it was
pantsuit off of them. That's why it was canceled.
yeah.
Mm.
Pat
The-
Labor, that's another one. That was a pretty good series.
yeah, that's one. That's not one I've seen, but the robots are iconic out of it. You know. Oh,
It's
because
I mean it's
yeah.
very Gundam like except, police, right?
Oh yeah,
So
yeah, 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 yeah.
it's pretty cool.
The labors themselves are pretty cool.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Somebody. The weird thing is they look marginally familiar. Like maybe
Right.
I saw one episode before it was like removed from the world.
Right.
But no, this is definitely nothing I ever really saw.
Hmm.
Um, you want to talk about like a big stretch of a big robot that really kind of got in there was from Techno Man, his robot Pegasus that helped him transform before he fixed his crystal. That was just a
Right.
big cool fucking robot. And Sentinel
Hey,
Sentinel hasn't made it yet.
what
Huh.
about those? Oh, what the hell those things called? Me and you talked about them, like the Super Samurai Ninja Warrior Teenager thing.
Oh God, why did I forget about Super Samurai Cyber Squad? Yeah, all of
That
those, all
yeah.
their
Oh
mechas.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, here's what's real bad is I did a retro review of those last year, so
Oh
I should have
nice.
remembered. So,
Um oh
That's still
wait a minute.
crazy.
Neon Genesis Evangelion.
yeah, you didn't. Nobody went for an Eva of any type.
Yeah.
Ava, sorry.
Totally forget about that.
Still never seen it.
Dumb to dumb, dumb, dumb.
Never
But I
seen it.
mean that's
But no, that's a big one. But I mean, like
yeah.
for different people. Like okay, so for anybody listening, because we have those 24 people who keep coming back to listen, and I
You
listen to it
bastards.
repeatedly. Yes, shut up. Stop insulting the fans, Shaun. We need them to listen. Let us know in the comments what your Mount Rushmore slash honorable mention spray painted down at the base of the mountain.
Oh my god.
5 robots would
And
be.
Macross.
For a lot of people, yeah,
Yeah.
that's a big one.
That is a big one.
Yeah.
Because I loved Robotech when I was a kid.
Okay, so let me get this straight. Is Robotech the U.S. crossover of Macross?
Yes.
Yes, it's their
Yes.
bastardization.
It's Macross in Japan, Robotech here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which
And
Harmony
there's
Gold, if you're listening, do something with the franchise.
they're
Hello.
supposed to. They're supposed to. It's
I
just
know.
God
that's
knows
what
what's
they
going
say
on.
all the time.
2 years ago they said they were going to. So and obviously
No.
2 years ago stuff happened. But I was just thinking Macross in general has a fuck ton of big robots that would apply to this.
Yes.
Don't think I've ever
At,
seen
at
any of
least, at least they've kept it going, on their end.
in one way or shape or form, different reboots,
Yeah.
or sequels or things like that. Yeah, for sure. I'm trying to think here because something else just came up in my mind. I don't want to just sit here and do top fives, but like okay,
At this point, we're gonna have
so-
to do top tens.
yeah,
and
okay.
20s.
So let's just skip to the intro real quick, and because we don't have a whole lot to go through this week news wise, I'll bring this other topic up when we get to it. So, guys, welcome to officially episode 4 because this is how we count things. I figured out what I'm going to do about the episode count problem. I'm going to put episode 0 as season 1, and then that way it'll fix the count.
oh,
Yeah. So that way, at least online, the count will look correct and it won't drive people nuts. And last
so
week I
our
accidentally.
four is technically 5.
No, our 4 is 3. Or Yes, 4 is technically 5. Yes, correct.
You got a counting issue. I
No,
swear to
because
God.
I didn't.
Oh my God, numbers!
Well, because
Time zones
well,
and
well, because
Jeez.
well, because if I wanted to drop the pilot, then we would still have the normal number of episodes.
Dude,
We
just drop it all.
no,
How
'cause-
many
shut
fingers
up,
and
Shaun.
toes do you have?
Yes, 17.
Okay.
I count twice because you never know.
You have
Wait, do you
17
count the
toes?
webs? Do the webs count on their own?
God,
Yeah,
gross.
yeah. I don't have web toes. That would be fucking weird. If you do have
Okay,
web toes,
Adam
please let
from
us know.
From Atlantis.
We need to know if you're very good at swimming. So guys, welcome to Now You Made It Awkward, episode 4. Actually, episode 4 because I said 4 last week because I'm an idiot and then Ricky called me on it. So thanks to Ricky for dropping in last week to fill in for Shaun. That worked out really well. We had a great discussion about the Batman. So I am your main host, SHOKY. You can follow me at all the SHOKY reviews things and at It Doesn't Have to Make Sense. All the links are down below. We have Mike up here, the Comic Relief Crusader.
Hello.
As usual, over here. Go follow him at the Comic Relief Crusader and at Freelance Graphics with a K to order merch and whatnot. And then
And because I can count.
that too. And then you've got Shaun over here, who's a fuckhead, at ShaunDiesel's Body Shop on the
K-bye.
Facebook. God damn it!
Not again.
Not again. Call Ricky. Ricky. So, yes, we're sorry in advance. We'll try not to be racist this week. Seemingly, I don't know. I don't even know. Like, we weren't really being racist, but
Even though we weren't.
yeah, we were literally pointing out racism in Hollywood. It's like,
Yes.
we're not being racist. We're pointing out racism. But then again, who knows? It's just how the world fucking works. If you felt a way about it, explain why. If not, fine.
Don't bother.
We don't want to we don't want to rehash old horse shit. So, let me ask this and then we'll go, or actually, let's go ahead and do our weeks. And I had a thing for this and I fucking forgot. I actually gave it a title. God damn it. I had a thing for this and I fucking forgot what it was. Did I put it in my notes?
It's Alzheimer's because he
Yes.
forgot.
It's what? It's what now? It's who did?
Exactly.
Things to the who now.
Because he forgot how to count.
Well,
and now
the other, I mean, it's been a pretty crazy last few days.
oh God, has it ever been?
I mean, well, you don't even know what's going on my end. In personal life, things have gone a little crazy.
Oh, I can relate. I assure you.
Well, I'm not gonna
20
say. I'm
years
not
of
going to
marriage.
say it on air.
Neither am I.
Yes, but
Not for your end, but for
yes,
mine.
I know.
Because
So-
I'd rather keep all my limbs.
That's good. You can do that. You've already had to
And
hold on to
appendages.
secrets. You had to talk. Shush. I was gonna call it like, what bullshit have you been up to, or something like that, or how the fuck have you been, something like that. I had a thing. I had a thing for it. It'll come back to me. Either way, Mike, you go first on how your week has been.
My week has been a torrent of pain and anguish, and yet odd pleasantness at times. So
So it's like going to Catholic school. I was gonna say
yes,
church.
you know, except without the, beatings of, of
Just in general, just without the beatings.
yeah, just less beatings. Yeah, sure. Yeah, we
less
can just
beatings.
generalize it. Sure.
Yeah.
I
I grew up Catholic. I can say these things.
So yeah. No, it's been rather it's been rather odd. Going through a battery of tests and still yet getting in a deeper hole. It's very odd. So, you're hired for a job and yet you still get strikes from members of the workplace for doing the job that you're hired for. But that's another story for another day.
Yes.
Well,
Well, actually, technically, no.
yeah,
we'll just
maybe not.
we'll not make that a public thing.
We'll
but
just forget it in the ether that it ever happened.
Well, let's just
So-
say he went through a whole lot of bullshit to just get more bullshit. Is what happened.
You smell that out there, viewer? It's bullshit.
Mhm.
So,
It's all
on
bullshit.
the other
All
hand,
day.
I'm getting back to my comic drawing roots. I mean, after a while, just constantly drawing boxes, Transformers all the time, which um, hashtag I work for X Transbots. Um, yeah, I just feel the pull to get back into comics. And when I was a kid, I wanted to work for Marvel. I was drawing all the time. Then I stopped for a bit, then got back into it back in the 90s and produced a bunch of fanzines with a bunch of awesome guys. And we ended up with, getting a radio interview, and we had several titles out. And then just one day, it just stopped. It was really weird. We just didn't produce anymore. And
I know how
I've
that
always
goes.
kept all my old comic art, all my issues that I did and stuff like that, and unpacked it and looked at it. And our youngest daughter, she wanted to look at it, and she thought it was like right cool. And it's like, you know what? Yeah, I used to read all these comics. Like what was it? Earlier this week, I read JLA versus Avengers by George Perez. And I mean, George Perez, if you remember the comic artist,
Mm-mm.
I mean, he worked for Marvel, he worked for DC, he did phenomenal work in the 70s and 80s and 90s, and he unfortunately has been diagnosed with uh terminal cancer, so he's not long for the earth.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah,
Oh, that George Perez. Okay,
yeah, that George Perez.
I looked him up.
And so recently a book was released, the one that I mentioned, JLA versus Avengers,
Hmm.
and it was a phenomenal read. I would suggest to anyone, if you can find those issues, read them. They are great. And so it reignited that passion even more to just want to get back into drawing comics again. So
Well, that's awesome.
yeah, so away I go and away I'm drawing. And yeah, like I said before, it's nice not having to draw boxes constantly of, robots all the time. So I think this might be a bit of a turning point.
Draw some curves.
There we go.
Get some big booty bitches.
That's the plan because I want to keep to my, manga style, right?
Yeah, I was gonna
So,
say the picture you showed is like super manga-esque. I was like, also it reminds me of like oh, whew, had a little thing. It reminds me of like some artwork, like kind of Doctor Slump area, kind of
kind of.
in that direction, where it's still fairly early, kind of unrefined, but then also has like a little Ghost in the Shell type design.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, this is stuff I haven't done in like over 20 years,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So you got to get used to curves again instead of like straight angles and lines and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I loved, the big seven that used to be part of Marvel. McFarlane and Liefeld and Lee and Valentino and Eric Larson and all those guys and Wallace Portasio and and a lot of others like Art Thibert. He worked for Marvel and he did, what was it, Black and White for Image. And yeah, so but also I loved manga on top of that, right? Like Masamune Shiro that did Ghost in the Shell and Appleseed and Dominion and a lot of other manga artists that were out there, right?
Yeah.
And oh, that is right. I also remembered something else.
Ooh, good.
Um this is in the works. Nothing is, final for sure. But later on, I'm going to be doing an interview with a well-known comic artist as well
Cool.
on my channel.
I was gonna say I don't know where to. That kind of interview.
Yeah, yeah.
I thought you meant job interview.
No,
I was like,
no.
you want to specify that. Interview.
Yeah,
Interview.
actually, I
Cool.
would. Yeah. Yeah, so sometime later on, there is a well-known comic artist that is out there who's had lots of books out, and he's gone independent himself. I don't want to
Nice.
say the name yet because I want to leave it as a surprise. But yes, he is well known, and I've talked to him, and when I figure out a few things
It's
of
Liefeld, isn't it?
broadcasting live, then
Yeah.
gotta go on live on my channel.
And you'll see that where?
On my channel, the Comic Relief Crusader.
Well, there you go.
There you go.
Yep. All right. What else
So
you got?
yeah, I just remember that, and yeah, so surprise everyone.
Surprise. Teasers.
Yeah,
There you
gotta
go.
have teasers,
Gotta have the
spoilers.
teasers. That's as your channel's been growing. You know.
Yeah, I'm up to 122 subs now. That's awesome. I'm over 100 now.
Yes.
121.
Yep.
Nice.
And if you guys are watching this,
No,
oh, and since we're on,
damn you.
there we go. Unsub. Oh, 120.
Crap.
Sorry, actually, 119.
I knew
Oh,
I should have put
118.
that Star Trek episode out.
Exactly. People were pissed about the Star Trek episode. Oh, that is one thing we did neglect to talk about was the Star Trek
Picard.
Strange New Worlds trailer dropped last week.
Oh,
But
yeah.
still looks pretty cool, not gonna lie. I'm more into that than anything else they've done so far.
Yeah.
Because they can get away from Discovery's horse shit. And that's a kind of previously unexplored era, which is pretty
Yeah.
cool. Pre-Kirk. I'm down.
Yeah.
I'm kind of
It's-
down for it. So I'll be interested in it. I'll watch it when it hits UK Netflix. So I don't have to get Paramount. So what I was gonna say is, guys, since he was talking about stuff on his channel, if you're watching this on Mike's channel, this will be the final episode that'll be split up amongst our individual channels, and it will be on its own Now You Made It Awkward channel, so that everybody can go follow there. Also, you can totally follow the podcast wherever you generally find podcasts. We are actually now on Podbean, Audible, Spotify, and Google Podcast. Where we have not been accepted to Apple Podcast just yet.
You will all subscribe now. If you don't, then you are capitalist scum.
Yes. But that way you can also just download it on the go. You don't have to sit here and to be attached to YouTube to check it out. So, but if you do want to, make sure you also hit that like button and leave us a review. And if you want to leave any comments, by all means. And if you want to contact us, ask us any questions, I do have an email set up at NowYouMadeItAwkwardMail@gmail.com.
Wow, we have our own email.
We have our own email. Nothing's come to it yet, so nobody's listening to the point where I said, hey, if you want to ask us questions. But that's all good. You been watching anything? Or you just been busy drawing?
Let's see. What have I been watching lately? No. You know what? I really haven't been watching. Oh, no. Correct me. I am totally wrong. I finished up season
Admonish.
2 of Raised by Wolves.
Oh, how is that? Because I heard some people talk about it and they had a hard time getting into it.
It's not bad. For those of you that do not know, it's basically obviously sci-fi, where a group of people that had to flee Earth because it becomes so terribly polluted by war and the environment in general. Two factions, essentially, one atheist, one what was it, that followed the god's soul, are in a race to claim a planet. For survival, essentially. And the planet itself is extremely weird, with very weird inhabitants in the sea and on land. And
Is it like Space California weird?
yeah, pretty close to California weird. So,
okay.
Where they're like, kind of like scaly lizard people. So, like I said, pretty close to California weird.
It's like
The sea is, huh?
Sounds like Florida.
Yeah.
oh
Almost,
yeah,
the
yeah,
gator
scaly.
people.
That's right. They're
Yeah.
the gator people.
Yeah, I should have corrected myself. I apologize.
Wait,
Anyway,
do they have pterodactyl mosquitoes
pretty close.
or meth mosquitoes?
Yeah, meth mosquitoes. Yeah.
That was funny.
The seas are acid. Let's see. I don't want to give away too many spoilers, but
and it's on Amazon?
season 1 was pretty good. If you can get past season 1, season 2 gets extremely more interesting.
Is it on?
Yeah.
Where's it streaming?
Where
Amazon?
essentially people are sliced and diced. Androids go insane. One robot ends up giving birth. Figure that one out. to a big giant snake creature that mutates into an even bigger, more ornery type of snake creature.
What the fuck?
Yeah, a woman turns into a tree, and a dead guy floating upside down in an inverted cross. So,
I thought Dune was weird.
yeah, well, this is more surreal. So,
I was gonna say, is this just Frank Herbert just did other shit at some point?
you're close. It's oh god, I'm trying to think who did Raised by Wolves.
I will Google.
Yeah.
Is it based on a book or anything? Oh, comic. It's actually from a comic.
It's trying to think who produced this again.
Mm,
And I watched season
it's
one.
well-known.
I couldn't do it.
you
Yeah,
gotta get
it's a well-known Hollywood name. I know that much. I'm just really
I
trying
watch it on HBO.
Yeah, it's on HBO. That's right. Yeah.
It's a good storyline so far.
I see the production company and the producer, but I don't see who created it. It's weird. John Cooper. Can't say that name. What is the point? I love this. Google. What is the point of Raised by Wolves? Oh, Ridley Scott was the producer.
Thank you.
That
Yes,
makes sense.
from Aliens.
That's right. That's right. Okay.
So yeah, finish that up. Yeah, I would recommend it. It's a very, very good storyline. It's extremely weird, and it's like, it definitely leaves you hanging.
But you got to get past season 1.
Yeah, get past season 1. The end of season 1, yeah, it'll obviously build to a climax like every season, obviously, but yeah,
climax.
it definitely leaves you coming back for more. So,
Well, that's something for sure.
yeah,
Nice.
that's pretty much it.
All right. Shaun, your turn.
Ugh. Okay, so let's see. I made notes on a piece of masking tape, and I can't read it now.
Good job.
Riveting.
Good attempt. That you actually tried. I'll tell you what, though. Like
I was on the edge of my seat.
Yes. See, the problem is he used the masking tape without thinking about it. Then sprayed over it.
I'm trying to read this shit, and I can't.
Hey,
Let's see. Well, let's just start here. Let's start with books. So I finished a book this week. It's called The Way Forward. It's about Rob O'Neill and Dakota Meyer. You know who those guys are?
No.
I've heard of the book, though.
Rob O'Neill is the Navy SEAL that shot bin Laden, and Dakota Meyer is a Medal of Honor recipient Marine.
Oh, nice.
So The Way Forward was written by these two, and basically they've had books before,
Right.
and there's a lot of rehashing in this book, but the main objective of this one is to tell how to keep going forward after life changes, like how they progressed after they got out of the military, dealing with their PTSD of all the crazy shit they went through.
Oh, excellent.
And whatnot. And yeah, it's a pretty good book. It's got lots of funny stories, and it's narrated by them, by both of them. So it's pretty
nice.
cool that he'll actually hear them tell their story.
That is cool, actually.
I like that.
So if you just want to, if you're into that type of shit and you want to hear some crazy stuff with some guy humor and how PTSD has really jacked with a lot of soldiers and how they get past it, it's pretty interesting.
Yeah,
Nice.
I've known a few Marines in my day that where they literally got in right before 9/11, and they've spent God knows how many years in Afghanistan and Iraq, and just seeing some of the worst shit imaginable, and and then try and go back to normal life, 10, 15 years later, when they finally get out, it's just really fucking hard, man.
Yeah. Kudos to all of those guys. I mean, it's not easy going through any of that crap. And
Hell no, you can't.
you cannot expect to come out normal. Once you witnessed a lot of the stuff that these guys have witnessed.
Yeah, like hell on earth kind of shit.
Yeah, and then on top of that, to get crap from ungrateful people out there, trying to demonize them. Like, are you guys nuts?
Yeah.
Yeah, that blows my mind. And like the Vietnam and then Iraq War, people did the same shit.
Yeah,
It's not like you have a choice when you're in the military, people. You do what you're fucking told.
Yeah, I mean,
And you try to survive the situation, period. That's how it works.
Yeah.
If you want to be mad, you be mad at the people making decisions, the politicians and the generals. That's who you be mad at.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And now don't get it twisted. There are some individuals who have done some very fucked up things in their times of service.
Oh, of course.
But they are the exception, not the rule.
Yeah.
So, there are nightmare stories of soldiers who've done terrible things on both sides. Let's just be honest here. But that's not what we're getting at here.
No,
we're talking about the ones who literally are there to protect the world and protect their country and protect even people in another country that they don't even have any business being there, but somebody asked for help or our politicians made a decision somewhere.
Precisely. I would rather raise up honorable men than talk about the scumbags out there.
Yeah, exactly. So was that an audiobook, Shaun? Since you said you
Yeah,
listened
it's
to
an
it?
audiobook.
Okay.
Yeah, I listen to books at work.
Yeah.
That's the only because I don't have time to like stop everything and read. Just play it while you're working. You can absorb it.
Oh,
and
so
knock
many
one
people
off the
do.
list.
I mean, it's like me. I'll listen to podcasts. I used to just listen to the radio, but like it became less and less interesting, and now I just listen to far more podcasts.
Yeah.
Me too. So let's see. I did watch a movie. I stayed up late. I watched Spider-Man: No Way Home finally.
Oh yeah, you did say that.
Did you?
Yeah, and dude, I have come to realize that Spider-Man is a giant fuck up.
Yeah.
He's just a dumbass kid. I mean, he's always finding himself like, dude, pull your head out of your ass. And it sounds like my dad right now. Pull your head out of your ass, boy. So that's what someone needs to tell Spider-Man so he would stop fucking up the universe.
They did. That is literally what Doctor Strange did in that movie.
Speaking of that, dude, Doctor Strange is fucking cool, man. He's just a bad ass character. I really like his vibe, his mode. I like it. I can't wait to see his movie, the second one.
Yeah, soon.
That'll be interesting. Yeah,
soonish.
What about the Mouth of Madness?
Yeah,
sounds like
not Mouth of Madness, Multiverse of Madness. Mouth of Madness was the NRR episode.
Although you know what, that would make an interesting title for a movie.
No, Into the Mouth of Madness is a thing.
Into the Mouth of Madness.
That is a thing already. That's.
That describes my relationship with my ex.
Oh, there you go.
Anyway,
so it's perfect.
He's still healing.
Yeah, I'm still dealing with my PTSD over that.
The bitch could not stop using teeth.
Yeah, it's all ratchet. So
ratchet teeth.
Yeah,
callbacks.
Be ratchet. So me and old girl, we actually sat down and was able to watch a show together, and one not get pissed off at the other one for asking too many questions. And both of us were actually interested in what was going on, and it was the episode 1 of DMZ. Wow. Anybody seen that?
No, you were talking about it, but I don't know what it is.
Okay.
Does that stand for what I think it does?
Demilitarized zone?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm not saying this show is awesome or it's the best show ever, but it is cool enough to make you want to see what happens next. The premise of the show is basically apocalyptic times after a war. There's no spaceships, there's no aliens, there's no zombies, there's no virus. Something and they don't tell you what's going on. It's just you get to see what's happened like 7 years after the war.
Right.
And there's a zone that's zoned off, and that's the DMZ. And it's kind of like a free-for-all. There's no government. People are running gangs, basically.
Yeah.
And the main character is a woman.
Yep.
I can't remember her name, but she's
Rosario Dawson.
I think is that the lady who plays Ahsoka?
No. Yes, it's Rosario Dawson. Yes.
Oh, really?
Okay. That's why I knew her.
Yep.
Okay.
So she's basically running around trying to find her son that she lost during the whole evacuation period. It's pretty cool. It's not awesome yet, but we watched one show together, and we both were happy we used our time to watch said show. So that was impressive that we could do that together. Because basically, Summer and I are like, if I look at a show and I'm like, yes, spaceships, and Summer's like, fuck spaceships.
Yeah.
Our tastes are totally different. We can't ever watch anything together.
It's got a pretty good cast. It's got a. I know a lot of these faces from this cast. These are good guys.
Yeah, I was happy to actually just finally find something we could watch together.
Nice.
So we did that, and yesterday I did something probably very irresponsible and stupid, but I ordered an expensive figure that should be out by the end of this month.
And because you didn't tell me what it
It is
was.
the Blitzway Voltron, the $700 Voltron.
Oh, this motherfucker.
Yeah, I did it, man. I'm gonna hate myself. I probably have to sell it or start not donating. It's not for free. I'll find a way to pay for it if I like it. If I don't, it'll be gone day one.
You'll love it, and you know it.
So I'm pretty excited on that.
Hey, this one's only $70.
What do you mean this one?
There's a small one.
Oh.
I think they made a small version of it as well. Dude,
Yeah.
but look at it this way. Get it now while it's $700 because some jackass is already selling it for $1,200 on fucking eBay.
That's gonna be my excuse.
I mean,
When that giant box shows up,
how big is it actually?
15 inches.
Oh yeah,
Wow.
right under. Yeah, just under 38 centimeters for those metrical people.
That's not bad.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking big. I mean, one thing I like about it, I'm looking at the pictures on BBTS, like the shield isn't like an absurd size, like it's proportionate. You know, the sword, the spear, all kinds of cool shit. And this one comes with the stand that has it has them in flight mode. That's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, man, this thing has anything and everything you want. So
Well, before you
I
sell
had a
it, send it to
Voltron.
me so I can review it.
Yeah. So my deal with my collecting is just like the Mount Rushmore thing we did.
Right.
I want the ultimate representation of that character somewhere. So the best Megazord I can get is the SOC. Got it. I had a Voltron, but I sold it. It wasn't. I mean, it was good, but it wasn't like the epitome. You know, it wasn't the top.
Right.
Which one was it?
Oh, what is it called? It's the one it's like an action figure. It doesn't come undone or transform.
Oh, that
it's
one.
kinda
Yeah.
stylized.
I know which one you're talking about. Yeah.
Titan Beast,
Yeah, I knew what you meant. Yep.
something like that. I had that one.
Dude,
It's cool. I like the way it looked, but it didn't do it for me.
wasn't there a Hot Toys Voltron?
I don't remember.
It
There's
was like
5,000 Voltrons.
hold on, but
No,
it was
this is like
just a
the
statue.
ultimate
Yeah, hold on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So
not Voltron.
I finally pulled the trigger
Voltron.
on it just so I could have this is the best I can get representation of a franchise that I love.
Nice.
Oh yeah,
So-
so hold on. I'll share the picture in there, but this is so fucking cool. Continue anyways.
So that's all that's really happened besides overtime, Saturday, Sunday, every day, 7 days a week until I get caught up at work. We're at the end of deer season, so the deer wrecks start slowing down
I
a
was
little
about to
bit.
say it's like the accidents should go away.
What?
Okay, so here, check out this was the Sideshow collectible Voltron.
How do I look at what you're looking at?
Click over on because you can just click back to the.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
What the
That's
fuck?
not bad. I mean, it's pretty sleek.
It's huge, like it's just
Yeah.
cool. Like it's non-combiner. It's more of a statue than anything.
I mean, yeah, there's an apple to scale, so that must
Yeah,
be.
it's fucking huge. I mean, like there's a picture of a dude standing next to it. It's fucking ridiculous.
Wow.
But that's not even the crazy one that I remember from a few years ago. That was like super stylized. And it was in like a crazy pose. I don't remember who made
Like,
it.
I'm not knocking you forgetting it. I don't know. I couldn't get this. I
Oh,
prefer,
I definitely
the
could.
blocky, original look kind.
Oh, you mean
know?
the one I shared? That's not the Blitzway though. That's just one I'm talking about. The Blitzway one is dead on.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, the Blitzway,
Damn it.
the one he ordered is dead on perfect.
Oh, okay. Well then.
Yeah. Sorry, not to confuse you. This is just I wanted to show it because I thought it was the one I was thinking of, and
Yeah.
it's not. It's pretty fucking cool though. But no,
Yeah,
I'm jealous of you
I
though.
wanted to get a masterpiece Voltron myself too.
I mean, the only Voltron I've got is the Super Mini-Pla version.
I almost got the SOC Voltron, especially when it got
that's nice.
reissued a few months ago.
Yep.
Right.
I was fixing to get it. And then I started seeing pictures of this one floating around. I was like, oh, dear God. So
Yeah, this
But I
is
was like,
probably the ultimate.
golly.
Yeah.
$700 to drop on one thing at once. That's
Yeah.
nuts.
I mean,
So I've got a few things lined up that are fixing to go out the door. And I was like, you know what? I could swing it. So I pulled the trigger on it.
well, I mean,
Double tap it.
realistically, if it's bigger than the Soul of Chigokin, so the Soul of Chigokin is roughly the same size as your Megazord.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I mean,
10.5.
thereabouts, yeah. Um, I mean, while the Soul Jigoken looks great, it doesn't come with nearly the kind of stuff that the Blitzway does, and it's
Right.
probably remotely the same quality, for lack of a better term.
Hmm.
Yeah.
If it's bigger and the same quality, it's worth the extra money because the Soul Jigoken is 400 by itself. So I mean, you're more than halfway there. So
Yeah.
that might be the same. That might be the only version of that statue I was thinking of because I can't seem to find the one I've got in my head that was another very stylized version. Either way, it doesn't really matter that much. So now what you need is a Castle of Lions diorama to go with it.
There you go.
That would actually be
Nah.
pretty. That would be pretty cool though. Like
That
with the
would be-
winged lion up out front.
Yeah.
All
Well, anyways, that's
gargoyles.
it for me.
Oh really?
That's
Wow.
all I've done
That
Nice.
was a good list there, sir.
because I
So
remembered to write it down.
exactly. Well, here's a cheat code for you. If you send yourself a message in Messenger, you can use it like notes.
I'll probably end up blocking myself. Like, who the fuck is this texting me?
This
Quit.
dipshit. Well, the good news is you don't get notifications from yourself, so you just look at it. Because that's how I
Yeah,
send
there you
myself thumbnails, and that's where I make my notes and shit.
Oh,
So
I forgot one thing.
go ahead.
So I went to the grocery store this morning, right?
Yeah.
And if you don't know me, then you don't know. But if you do know me, you know I'm a pretty health conscious type of guy.
Right.
You know, what I eat and my exercise and all this stuff, I'm pretty on top of that shit. But I was in the grocery store today and I walked by the frozen section. Now, corner of my eye, I saw these little ice creams, little pint-sized ice creams.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
And I like to do this to myself. It's like if I go in a gas station or a convenience store, I will walk down the candy aisle and stare at it to tempt myself to do it, just to test my willpower, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Anyway, so I looked at the ice cream to study it for a minute, and I saw they had like Little Debbie flavored ice cream, like honey bun,
Yep.
zebra cake,
I've seen these.
oatmeal pie, Rolo, Kit Kat,
Yeah.
cinnamon toast crunch.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
You gave in.
you did.
I came home with all of them.
I didn't expect all.
So
So what
yeah,
you're
man,
saying
it's
is
like
you on
7
purpose.
pints of ice cream in the freezer. So Summer's like unloading the groceries and whatnot, and she's looking at me, and she just keeps pulling out these ice creams, just one after another, and she's looking at me.
At least they're pints. They're not quarts.
Yeah, and I straight up told her, "Oh, they're for the kids."
Oh yeah, yeah.
The kids get one scoop. The rest is for me to shame eat in the bathroom,
So you
crying
I'm
crying on the toilet.
just eating ice cream like human recycling.
No, he's just in the shower hiding. Shaun, shut
what
up!
did I do to myself?
Where's the ice cream? You're like throwing the things out the window to keep them hidden. You're like, I didn't eat it. I didn't eat it.
Oh frick. So you on purpose tempted yourself and failed.
And yeah, it totally kicked me in the mouth.
I've had very similar experiences, but I'm fat, so I can do that. I make no bones about it. However, I need to lose weight this year. Now we have a very good reason to do that, which will be discussed on later shows.
Yeah, ditto.
So if you are done, sir.
Next.
Yep. So first and foremost, I do need to drop a promo that I announced my MS100 charity Gunpla building contest this past weekend, and so it is now launched, and it is running between now and June. If you need any of the info on that, it is on the main SHOKY channel, and I'll link it down below as well. It's for muscular. No, not muscular. Multiple sclerosis. I was gonna say muscular dystrophy. Wrong one. So a few years ago, I did the original MS100, and we ended up donating the money to the subject of the charity instead of to the actual charity cause because he had some really horrible shit happen to him.
Right.
So we just donated the money to him to help him out to cover costs. So I'm redoing it this year, a couple of years later. Gundam kits have been kind of hard to get throughout COVID, but now a lot of backstock is finally coming in. So that's just the thing that can happen. So that's the thing. I'm looking forward to it. I like judging contests more than I like participating in them. So it's a lot of fun for me. And I have some incredibly creative people who have taken part in past years, and they were super excited to see that the contest came back. So that's going to be
Sweet.
good. And hopefully get to raise some money this time, because last time not so much. I mean, raised an okay amount, but I ended up donating more money out of my own pocket, realistically, than we raised. So it is what it is. Just on a slight personal note, we went to Cracker Barrel for the first time in many years this morning for breakfast.
Yum.
It was satisfactory. It was a little different than the last time we went. The menu had just changed ever so slightly, but still fucking good shit. And we actually, for whatever reason, we got out of bed at a decent time this morning. Like, normally we're rolling out of bed at like 9 or 10. We got out of bed at like 7:30.
Wow.
Yeah, I think the time change is still fucking with us. But unlike last week, we didn't stay up super late on Saturday.
Oh, good. I'm not the only one.
Yeah. No, the time change has been horrible, man. It's been messing with me. I mean, it's one thing when you have an alarm, but your internal clock is still off for a while. And then, I got a text message from somebody. Oh, no, okay, Sam. The other thing is, something I forgot to mention last week, but because Shaun wasn't here, I decided to hold on to this information. So something I did watch was the whole first season of Vox Machina. The D&D animated show that he had talked about. Yep. So I did watch it all. It was trash. Nobody should ever watch it.
What?
I'm fucking kidding. It's fucking fantastic. I couldn't stop fucking watching it. I didn't do anything I was supposed to do that day because I watched the entire fucking season in one day. Like, it was last Monday, and I fucking plowed, or the Monday before that, I plowed through the whole fucking show. I'm like, okay, I'm only gonna watch like 3, and then I'm gonna get to doing reviews. And I watched the fucking first 3 episodes, and I'm like, the first 2, like when they're doing the Dragon Quest, like right at the beginning, it's like, okay, we're getting introduction to the characters, we're seeing their powers, we're doing a little bit of world building, and then like it just fucking goes off the walls following the next fucking chapter. And it's just like they had a short run story at the beginning to really just get you engaged, and then the real story of the season kicks off. And I was just like, fuck, I cannot stop watching this shit. Like the animation is fantastic. The comedy and the writing is fantastic. Sometimes the acting is a little weird, or maybe it's just the way they produced the audio is a little odd.
Right.
It's not bad. It just sometimes it's like, it doesn't seem like the character is talking so much as sound is happening and a thing is moving. Just every now and then it's like that. It's not, I don't know if that's just my TV, probably not an actual real problem. But the characters are great. The voice acting is all fucking fantastic. And I'll just put it this way. At some point, a particular character uses his dick to attempt to kill someone with magic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking absurd. He shoots a fucking purple lightning bolt from his dick. I was like, Jesus Christ.
Well, that's not awkward.
I mean, no, it's definitely. He's a super sexual character. Like, we're introduced to him, like, I think it's like fucking the tavern owner's daughter.
Yeah, he was going down on that bar.
Yeah, he was going down on her. That's right. So I mean, the show is 100% super adult. Like, don't fuck around with this. Like, you see like balls, well, not directly, but like they show some like naked from behind things. So you can see bare ass and you see balls dangling below, and that kind of stuff. Titties. Well, actually, it's only the first time you see titties. After that, you don't. It's episode 1 and done. They followed that rule. It's episode 1 and done. It's really interesting about that. I mean, they're animated titties, so whatever. But like everything,
so we don't get flagged.
Yeah, exactly.
So we don't get flagged. Mammary glands.
No, they're fucking tits. Who cares?
Okay, fine. Well,
who gives a shit? This is an adult podcast. This is not made for kids. There's a whole thing about it. YouTube is flagged for that reason. But we're at E for explicit. Anyways, but the characters, like, and I love the joke at the beginning that they don't know which twin is which just by name, because their names is like Vax and Vox or whatever. Yeah. It's like, which one's which? Like, nobody can fucking remember. People just keep referring to them interchangeably for like the longest time, and it's only when they talk to each other they're like, oh wait, I don't know which one of the even they forgot who's who because they're just interchangeable. But it's just a good show. I can't wait for fucking season 2, whenever that'll be. And I totally saw that ending coming, but I forgot. Like, that was the best part about the ultimate ending. No spoilers here. I want people to go watch it. But like, they're like, they set up the very last thing that happened, but then you just completely fucking forget about it. Like, that's great writing.
Yeah.
I was like, so I knew it was going to happen at some point, but because of all the other shit that happens, like, and then what's the guy with the glasses? Is it Percy? What's his name? Something like that. Yeah, something like that. Like, his whole fucking story and his whole fucking ordeal that he's going through is like, one, it's cool as fuck. Like, the whole mechanism, so to speak, behind what's going on with him is so fucking cool, and then how they get through it is a little contrived, but it still works out fine. And the little dwarf girl, you know, their white knight medic, basically, like, her whole bullshit. They found a way to remove a main character for like 70% of the series, and you don't care because it's so fucking good.
Right.
Like, she gets separated from the group after like episode 3 and just doesn't come back until like episode 12. And you're just like, it's just so fucking good by the time she technically returns, even though she gets a storyline to her own self separately. It's like, they just like, okay, our cast is a little too big. We need to nerf them a little by getting rid of their healer for a reason. And it's like, it's just fucking cool. Like, they're really, whoever wrote this, I know technically it's Critical Role did all this, but like, I'm watching this show that's obviously been converted to be a cohesive TV show. And I'm like, how the fuck did they make this an actual D&D campaign? Like, that's insane. I was just like, these motherfuckers came up with this shit and acted it out in their D&D campaign in their show, and then converted it and wrote it into a cohesive TV narrative. I was like, Jesus Christ.
Interesting.
Yeah, so if you've never heard of Critical Role, they've been around for a long time. It's a very long-running TV show. And you know the Shaun, you know the elf girl who like has like the plant magic and shit?
Right.
I think that's Felicia Day's character, if you guys are familiar with Felicia Day as an actress.
Yeah, from the guild.
Yeah, from the guild. I believe she was on Critical Role as well. I could be wrong, but I think, or maybe I'm just confusing the guild with Critical Role.
That'd be awesome, man. I remember when she was making that
Let me double check.
those YouTube videos.
Yeah.
Like that series.
Yeah, yeah.
I could be wrong.
Glad
I may have
she's still out
just
there.
said something dumb.
I
Oh,
hope
wait,
it's her.
no. No, I'm sorry. Wait, maybe that's the... Let me look here. God, I might have got that wrong. Oh, you know what it is? I confused. I'm such an asshole. I confused Critical Role with fucking the guild. My bad. Oh, wait, hold on. Wait, this is the... Wait, is this the voice actors? Yeah, this is the voice actors. This isn't the people on actual Critical Role. Hold on. I don't know why I thought it was...
I just texted Summer, I'm gonna clap them cheeks tonight. And she texted me back, nice ellipses. And then I told her I'm a butter your bisquick.
Okay, hold on. I'm trying to...
You're a dumbass.
Yummy.
Okay, let me look here. Yeah, I'm definitely wrong. Oh, wait, so a lot of these... Oh, no, yeah. I mean, it's not Felicia Day. I was wrong about that. My bad. That was,
Aw.
No, yeah, I was getting the guild confused. My bad. Because the guild did a lot of shit, too. They had an animated series for the guild as well, if I thought. They're like a Flash animated thing. But no, if you actually look at the... If you look them up, you actually see, like, a lot of... There are proper actors, like Ashley Johnson, who's been around forever. She played the same character in Critical Role that she plays in here, so she voices her own actor otherwise. So I sounded like an asshole. Apologies to Critical Role and their people and me getting confused. Matt Mercer as well, also. You know, he was also the same thing. So a lot of the same voice actors who acted these characters in the first place are the voice actors for the characters in the TV show, if not all of them.
Oh.
So that's pretty fucking cool. So this is insane. So yeah, the voice, yeah, there it is, says right there, voice of Vox Machina. So yeah, I'm an idiot. Forget what I said. Bad nerd me. Anyways, love the show. Fucking fantastic. Can't wait for it to come back. God knows when it will. The other
Man,
thing,
I hope it's the same.
yeah, it will. Because dude, they've been on for so long, they can literally just fucking keep doing each campaign because it just keeps rolling.
Yeah.
We're continuing watching Supernatural. Getting into the next
That's
season.
still on?
No, it's not, but we're still watching it on Netflix because
Oh.
it's 15 fucking seasons. It takes a minute to get through, especially when you're watching other fucking shows.
Yeah.
Now there are some sketchy seasons, like we're in season 9 or season 10, I forget, one of those two, because they kind of roll together. Like the same storyline rolls between both seasons, just splits. So I forget
Okay,
which one.
so
Yeah.
Okay.
remember a while back you were telling me about Supernatural? I was like, oh, I've never seen it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I played it, and I was like, oh, I have seen this, and I've seen up through like season 5.
Okay, so where it ended initially, technically.
I just didn't even know that's what I was watching. I used to watch this late at night. I didn't know what it
That's
was.
funny. Yeah. So.
But what else do they have to do after that?
Fuckload.
Jesus, I mean, like heaven and hell's done. Like, what else is there to do?
So wait,
They
no.
still monster bashing?
So wait, no. If you watch through season 5, that was only the final wrap up of the that's the apocalypse storyline. That's the original. That's the original storyline. After that, it just goes fucking nuts, dude. Like there's no way to wrap up everything that happens between now and then, but they do continue the angels and demons. More people die, more people come back. They introduce more lore, like the Leviathans, which existed before man. It's like basically like God's first creation was the Leviathans. They bring that in, so there's a whole season and a half of just that. There's the Angel War. There's trying to see the season where they're basically trying to seal heaven and hell completely, so that no bullshit is happening at all. There's the Metatron season. Dude, it just keeps fucking going. Like for a while there, that just got really convoluted, but it's just continuing the same story over like from there on. Their actions that they took then basically set up everything that fucking happens after the fact. And yeah, they do fight a fuckload more monsters. At some point they start tackling the alphas, like the very first created monsters.
Are they named?
Like I mean, like
Okay.
so like the first vampire, the first werewolf, stuff like that. Then they're still around, So that comes up, There's a whole lot of shit. People keep getting possessed by either angels or demons, just how it goes.
Right.
Crowley just becomes more of a character over time, which is fucking fantastic, because Crowley's one of the best characters in there. Castiel's one of the dumbest, in my opinion. He's an important character, but he's just dumb. It's like they just have to
he should have been done.
Yeah, I mean, they do good shit with him at some point, but he just kind of... It comes down to a point where he's just doing the same dumb shit over and over, and they got to keep a reason to keep him in the show. But that happens in a lot of shows, They do have to let go of certain characters over time for whatever reason, right. They have to die. And then they still find reasons for them to come back later, because in Supernatural, death is just a fucking season off, basically.
It's an inconvenience.
Yeah, death is a mild inconvenience to the Winchesters. But there's the first 5 seasons were 100% the best, because that was one solid storyline. They absolutely could have fucking stopped that right then and there, because that was just literally the culmination. That one final scene, they could have just fucking left out, and I'm sure that was the one thing, like where Sam comes back at the very end. You're like, how the fuck is Sam back? He's supposed to be in hell. And then they leave it on that cliffhanger. They could have just not had that in there. Boop, it's over forever. No problem. But either way, still love the show. I'm interested to see the prequel series as it comes. Let's see what
They're
else.
doing a prequel series?
Yeah, I mentioned that a long time. I mentioned that in one of our first episodes. So they're doing one that follows their parents when they were young.
Oh,
So
I wonder who's going to play the dad.
I think they're going to bring back the same actors who played them when they were young. So if you,
I remember that.
Yeah. So when they did the time travel episode where they send Dean to the past,
Yeah.
So they use the same actor and actress throughout the rest of the series to play their young selves. So in theory, it could pick up where they left off with them in the past and then just do whatever. And you could see like Mary trying not to hunt demons and shit like that on the side or something. Um, I'm not sure. Or they bring in people entirely new. It's going to be called the Winchesters, so we'll see what happens. But they do expand on Mary's family a lot. The Campbells. So that is a big thing in the later seasons, and like season 6 and
The Campbells?
yeah, the Campbells. So in
The
season
soup people?
no,
What the fuck they got to do with ghosts?
shit, a lot apparently. Well, see, that's a fucked up thing. So they incidentally came from 2 different families of hunters without even knowing it, dude. When they get into the shit about the Men of Letters, it gets really crazy.
Right.
And like they just kind of stick with some of that for a long time. Then they start talking about like the oldest demons, all kinds of stupid shit. Like it and they do rewrite their own lore a few times, but then again, they also break the laws of fucking nature over and over, so who cares, right? But as long as that fucking Impala's around, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Yeah. Time travel happens a lot in like season 6. Season 6 and season 7, time travel happens a lot. But it's because it's usually used as a creative device. Like the only place that certain things can happen is way back in time. At one point, angels start fucking with the timeline. So they'll go back in time to change an event, and then we see the alternate future, and then find out that things have been fucked with. So they use it as a good device. It's not like a cure-all thing. It's not like we're going back in time to stop this thing. No, it's used as a plot device to actually be like, fuck, that somebody fucked with time again. But they do the Back to the Future 3 thing whenever Sam and Dean have to go back to the Old West. It's pretty fucking funny. And then, this was what led to something great about it. So Dean calls himself Clint Eastwood because of Back to the Future 3. And he fucking names Sam Walker, Texas Ranger. Who he now plays on TV.
Wow.
So that may have been the beginning of that whole thing. So, I think Walker is in like season 2 now, and actually Jensen Ackles went in to go direct an episode, and they fucked with him the whole time because that's all those guys did behind the scenes. You gotta, like, if you ever watch their interviews or their, what do they call it? The panels and stuff like that at conventions, and they start telling the stories about how they fuck with each other behind the scenes, it's so ridiculous. They're
Let me ask you this.
Sure.
Are you a Sam or Dean guy?
I lean more towards Dean, technically speaking.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, it's just a little bit more, But, like, when I was younger, definitely Sam.
Yeah.
Like, I was more like Sam then, I'm more like Dean now. But then again, their character arcs just, they change a lot over the series. They stay similar, but so much bullshit happens to them. It's fucking absurd. So, other things, in the areas of video games, since we don't talk about it too often, but I have been completely obsessed with this mobile game called BeatStar. It's one of these fucking rhythm games like, Guitar Hero or Beat Saber, that kind of shit. Things are flying at you and you have to hit them in rhythm. The wife started playing it, and I played a few levels on her phone because she couldn't beat them. And it's only like 3 rows of things, and you're just using your thumbs to hit the thing. I'm so fucking obsessed with this game. Like, I'm maxed it. Like, you can only play so many songs per day, and I fucking max it out until I can fucking unlock more shit so I can do it again. And the hardest goddamn song that I've got unlocked right now, and it's literally under the extremely hard category, is Gangnam Style by Psy.
Oh, wow.
It's so goddamn hard. I've only gotten like 30% into it. It's that fucking hard. But like, playing it has made me better at the songs that I couldn't get before that are lower level. So like, it's like playing expert on Guitar Hero or Rock Band.
Yeah.
And then going back and playing like a normal level. And it's just so fucking cakewalky. It's just funny. But like, I'm obsessed with that. Also, as we talked about last week, Mario Kart 8 expansion came out.
Oh yes.
Which I want to talk about it because while they claimed it was going to be DLC, I think some people may have been under the impression that it was going to just be a free update to the game. It's not. It's a $25 update to the game. So, like, basically purchasing half the game over again. But on top of that, you also, as far as I'm aware, because of what I went through, you have to purchase an online expansion set as well. Like,
Of
there's this
course.
whole other thing you have to buy that it tells you you need to get to go further. And I think it's because that's like an automatic connection to other stuff when it comes out. So they only gave you 2 sets of new tracks right
Right.
now, and then they're going to periodically release the other ones, and you can see them where they're going to be and when they get unlocked. And I could be wrong that I think they gave us the 200cc class as well. But I can't remember if that was a class before. I do remember 150 and then mirrored.
Oh yeah.
I don't remember the 200cc class, so I don't know if that's an update or not, but that is a fucking insanely fast fucking thing. I couldn't fucking win on any track, even ones I was familiar with. I was coming in like fucking 7th and 9th. It's so goddamn fast and hard. Like, and I swear to God, they upped the difficulty. Like, where I'm just playing a normal 100cc class, which is, just above, like, basically the normal level.
Yep.
And fuck me, the fucking NPCs are kicking my ass. Like on like the earlier levels, like I can still breeze through it. I'm so fucking far ahead that they can't even catch me except by like, red shells and bullshit. But
The
some of the
game you love to hate.
yes, exactly. Today, you could ask the wife. I was fucking screaming at the TV because they were fucking. It's like, dude, I have never. I played this game for God knows how long,
Right.
and I have never had the fucking computer players, and I don't mean outrace me. I mean literally beating my ass with fucking shells and fucking everything else. I have never had my ass beat so badly
Wow.
ever. So I think they upped some of the difficulty because I don't think I suck that bad.
Well,
Because
that's not too bad.
so it adds a new level of difficulty where you really like. I was screaming at the fucking TV. I was about to throw the goddamn controller.
Hey.
Yeah.
Can we just pause it for a sec because I have to run to the store before it closes?
Yeah.
Okay. I will be right back. All right.
Yep.
All right.
Pee break.
Because
So just
Freaky.
we were talking about how people tend to sleep initially. We're talking about how I asked him if Summer would like roll over onto his side of the bed as soon as he got up because
Oh.
right now the wife is in bed early and like she's like, I'm gonna sleep on your side since you're not here. I was like, no, the fuck you are. So come to bed.
Yeah. No.
Well, she takes over most of the bed anyways because she's got her body pillow.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Yeah, so and we're not small people, and she's got a body pillow. So it takes up between her and the pillow, half the bed is gone, and then she wants to snuggle up to me, which means I get pushed to the edge of the bed, and then
Yeah.
she's got all this shit behind, all this extra space behind her. It's
Dude,
fucking
same here.
yeah, and I mean like,
I hate it.
yeah, it happens. I mean, she's like, well, we need to get a king size bed next time. I was like, why? You're gonna do the same exact thing. It's like I'm still gonna have the same amount of real estate, and you're gonna spread out and take over the rest of the bed. So no, we don't need a king size right now. Maybe later,
How
but
Because I wake up, like, because I'm right by the wall on my side, right?
yeah.
And I wake up and I end up sometimes with the most bad backaches.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God. Hey.
How tall is this?
Huh?
Yeah.
How tall is Miss Shoki?
She's 5'6", somewhere in there.
Huh.
About 5.5.
Yeah, Summer's 5'6", and so explain to me how these small human beings manage to take up 3/4 of the bed everywhere they go.
I don't know. Have you ever seen a kid who can just sprawl out in a way that makes no fucking sense and completely take up a giant bed to themselves? It's like, how does a person who's less than 5 feet take up more space than that? It makes no fucking sense, but they can do it.
Yeah.
It's fine. So way back on topic now. The mic's back.
Yeah, that's right.
So the Mario Kart stuff is what I was
Mario
getting at.
Kart.
So Mario Kart aside, the expansion thing you have to download as well is like an extra $48. So basically, I had to pay for a whole other fucking proper Nintendo video game. But
That's nuts.
well, here's the thing: it's not just for nothing because that expansion gives you the N64 set. So they got around to doing N64 ports to the Switch and the Sega Genesis ports. So with
That's not too bad.
yeah, so you get like an extra like 20 games, you know.
Oh.
And I mean it's like the good 64 games. The only thing they don't have is like the who made like Killer Instinct and stuff like that? Was that Square?
Oh, that was
no.
Rare.
Yeah, Rare. Well, yeah, so they don't have any of those yet. We'll see what happens. But those weren't even on the Super Nintendo either, if I recall. So, I mean, it comes with Mario 64, Mario Kart, Star Fox 64, a couple other like mainline games that I probably never even played, and then a couple Japanese ones. And the Sega comes with a lot, the Sonic games and a bunch of shit like that as well. Too bad they don't. I don't think they have access to the Capcom games because that would be badass. Get like Mega Man and all that kind of shit like that. Somewhere there's a Street Fighter collection you can download. That's all the classic Street Fighters. That's not part of this, but I saw it while I was rolling through the store. But no, it was actually really cool because I think last time I was on the last podcast, I was talking about I want an N60. I want to play Star Fox 64, and you can. And you don't have to deal with the single fucking controller anymore because it controls with a normal modern controller. It's like the only thing is I don't think you can change it between inverted controls for like flight. So it's a thing you have to get used to again if you're used to like me.
Oh, I see.
Flying, driving like a plane. So it's pretty cool. It's expensive, but oops, geez, just dropped my phone here. It's expensive, but it's cool. I'm gonna turn my camera off now because I'm not telling a
worth the money.
Visual. It's worth the money ultimately, and I had the money, so I was like, fuck it, I'm already here. It was weird that you had to buy it. The way I thought of it is like, do you remember like the N64 had the graphics expanding thing that you could buy separately and you had to install
the expansion pack.
So I think they treated it kind of like that, but in a reverse technology way. So to make something with shittier graphics, they had to make a new expansion to basically create a virtual version of the N64 inside a sophisticated machine. And by the way, like, it's on the screen in a 4:3 setting, but like it doesn't look like it's all pixelated and stupid. Like they upped all the graphics. Like it doesn't look modern. It's still the old blocky 64-bit graphics, but like there's not like the horrible pixelation and shit. Now, if the bigger screen you put it on, it might get weird, but it's pretty cool. I did get a couple things in. I did get the next train bot from Moon Studios.
Right.
The Iron Arm, who's actually the Iron Crotch. And it is as you guys saw the pictures, but it is a giant pain in its own ass. Because it comes in combined form, which is the first for this set, because they all come in bot mode so far, but he's the biggest one because he's got to do the most by himself because he's the crotch, the legs, and the abs.
Right.
And I usually, whenever I get something new, especially Transformers-wise, I try to transform it without any instructions. Like, see how far I can get before I absolutely have to reference the instructions. I think I made it about 20 minutes unfolding and, pulling stuff apart. And, I had to pull out a spudger because I was like, God damn, some of these things just won't come open. I will say there's some weird fitment issues for certain panels. Like things that probably should have been glued together tighter aren't super secure. So I think quality wise, this one is a step down. Like, or maybe it's just mine. The I almost said ratch hippets. The hip ratchets are fucking absurdly tight. Like, you remember we talked about the Toy World Devastator tight joints like a long time ago?
Yep.
It is that fucking tight. Like, and the thing is like, he's both the combiner legs and his own legs. It's not like he inverts and like he sprouts new things to become legs. No. So, and when you have the robot legs out, it's really scary to want to put that much leverage on any of the joints. And he does have some hefty die. He's got hefty die cast in him, especially on the combiner parts.
Right.
I have to look and see exactly how it's going to work because it's definitely got like a T-shaped plank that will like go into the back of the other trains, and then
Mhm.
2 hard metal pegs that will, plug into something. I don't think they're. I have to look at the other ones to see exactly where it's going to plug in, but
Right.
yeah, I did manage to transform it successfully to all 3 modes. I think it's got the weakest train mode probably out of all of them because it's the oddest looking train to begin with. Um, but it's probably the only one that has robot kibble on him because there's no good way to really disguise it as train parts.
Well, I suppose. Yeah.
Um,
Plus, on top of that, these are, Japanese trains. Let's face it, right?
yeah,
They're not trains you would normally see in North America.
no, but we've seen enough of them between Europe and stuff like that. They're still all very similar styles, and this is just, and it's not
Yeah.
necessarily a what's the word I'm looking for? Like the train, the main front of the train. What's the opposite of a caboose? I was like, I can't think of the word. Either way,
Engine?
Engine?
the engine. There's the word I'm looking for. So I don't know that he's an engine, technically speaking. Could be,
Right.
but it's also the one that goes in the center. Essentially, whenever you do have them all in actual train line.
Well, see, technically, I'm pretty sure almost all of them are engines.
I know, but I'm saying like
They're
this is
just,
the
they're
weird.
just different types.
Oh, I know, but I'm saying like this is the only one that seems like it isn't one.
Oh, I see.
This
Okay.
design wise, because it's so
Right.
strange. It could be perfectly fine. It's just a very strange one. It's also like super narrow,
Yeah.
compared to the others. It's still in
Yeah.
scale. It's just a weird design, and like it's hollow as fuck. Like the when the other ones are in, the other 2 are in train mode. Like the bottom is solid. Like you flip it over, you see the wheels. There's a couple gaps
Yeah.
maybe where the legs are sort of split, but this one is
Right.
like super hollow in comparison from
Oh, wow.
underneath, and that's just because the legs have to do what they do. And you would think they would use like the Combiner Wars type, like drop down expansion leg situation, and they
Oh,
don't.
I
They
see.
they have a weird. It's a dual hinge system, so it's like for when it's in combined mode, the calves and shins come up and become the thighs.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? So you have to bust it open, flop it down, flip panels around, and then flip the feet out, to make it leg modes for its own self. It's probably easier going in the right order because I didn't know where to start. I started with the legs, and I probably should. I think you were supposed to start with the arms. So like there was a lot of mobility issues, and then at some point it was just a gigantic floppy mess. It's just
Yeah.
like I don't know where anything goes. It's like okay, so it was fun figuring it out. I'll say that.
I'm still waiting for my legs.
Oh yeah,
They,
I forgot you
they
said you
accidentally
ordered
got
those.
shipped somebody else to somebody else. So
Oh fuck!
apparently they're on the way to me now
I hope so. That would be bad.
from wherever, somewhere else
gotta
in
sneeze.
Canada. And so, yeah, now that everything else is coming out, I got to get those now.
Oh, I gotta fucking sneeze and it's stuck. The other thing I got in was the Pink Ranger 2-pack I talked about a couple weeks ago. Because I did order it from Hasbro. Good thing I pay for Hasbro or Pulse Premium to fucking wait 2 weeks for something to ship that's in stock. Jesus fucking Christ. $50 a year for free shipping, and they don't bother to ship you anything you fucking order for 2 weeks.
Oh, God.
Even if you pre-order it, God knows when it'll fucking come in. Even though they're like, yeah, it's fine. And then you can see people are getting it off the fucking shelf, even though you pre-ordered it and you paid $50 goddamn to get it
Of course.
before other people, but it's hitting the fucking shelves at Target weeks before you can ever get it directly from the fucking source. Has a repulsive rant.
Got him as a bitch.
Yeah. So on that same line, because obviously I talk about Power Rangers every goddamn week, they did they put up for pre-order the color swapped Trini and Jason that happened in the comics, and it instantly fucking sold out. So can't get that yet. But it looks like in this version they've done tweaks to the body molds, like they're now pinless.
Oh, yeah.
And they look like they fixed the Red Ranger helmet a bit. So there are some improvements over time now. Although I do want to point out, I now have 4 fucking versions of Mighty Morphin Pink Ranger. Between the original Kimberly,
Right.
the April O'Neil, and now 2 variations of Cat. One metallic, one not. So I have too many fucking Pink Rangers. It's like, can I just get rid of one? Like, I just need the head sculpt, and I've had so many fucking power bows now. It's absurd.
I sense a trend.
And technically speaking, Ranger Slayer sort of falls in that category too, but they didn't give her. They didn't for some reason they didn't give Ranger Slayer her own head sculpt, like her own unmorphed head. So like from the comics, they need to fucking introduce the non-morphed Rangers or the ones who are helmetless a lot more. So they gave us Lord Draken without a helmet, but they wouldn't give us Kimberly. You know, the alternate Kimberly with no helmet or anything like that. There's still some that went up for pre-order in like 2020 and they still haven't fucking arrived. So, you know, COVID's really holding back some shit. But either way, I'm still liking the Lightning Collection, but like, I hate Hasbro, I'll put it that way. Hasbro's getting fucking stupid.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. I did pre-order 3 trade paperbacks. Not pre-order, I just ordered them. So there's a section of the current comics that I was reading, the ones that I missed. And I can't buy the individual issues anymore. Like I just can't find them anywhere. I can find a few here and there, but it's like 10 or 12 issues, and I was like, fuck it, I'll just buy the trades. So between Amazon and mycomicshop.com, not sponsored, but hey, they had the 3 trades that have the chunk of story I'm missing, including the origin of the Green Ranger,
Right.
Which is pretty fucking cool. And I got into it one comic, and I feel like I can't find that comic anywhere, or it's a different issue that I don't remember which one it came from, because I feel like I'm missing one. I reorganized them all, put them all in their own short box, and now I can't seem to find the specific one that I know I fucking read. I was like, where is this fucking issue? It's like, it went over these things in a story that I know I fucking saw with my own eyes. Why can't I find this?
Mad hunt continues.
Yeah, so continually.
You're gonna go nuts until you find it.
Well, what's really funny is I was so desperate to read the story. Have you guys ever done this with comics and stuff like that? Like, you know, like there's like I found out that there is so what I'm missing is from the Go-Go Power Rangers. So because there was Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and then Go-Go Power Rangers. I mentioned this before. So the section of the story I'm missing is from Go-Go. And it's and it's post Shattered Grid. So that storyline kept going over there, and then it picked up into the stuff that I've currently read. So there was almost half a year of shit that I missed. So like, that's what I'm trying to catch up on. So I go to find
You're
these.
gonna hate when that happens.
Yeah, exactly. So I go to find these trades, right? Because I can't get the individual issues, right? I do a search on fucking Amazon. There's a fucking hardcover first volume coming at the end of the year. So I'm like, well, I'm going to buy that. So I'm just going to, but it covers like the first, I think that hardcover covers the first like 18 issues or something like that. Like it's a lot of the beginning that I also never read. So I picked up at like issue 8, you know? So that's where the beginning of the Shattered Grid storyline started in Go-Go, where it started at like issue 11 or something like that in Mighty Morphin. So, and then of course it was all crossing over between the two, and then you know the stories merged, and then they broke off again. So you know, and then it picks it. So it's convoluted when it's 2 separate comic books. I mean, it's just like any other comic series, right? You know, Marvel or DC or whatever.
Yeah.
Where you've got your Batman, you got your Superman, whatever, and then there's running parallel, and then every now and then there's crossover, and then you may have a giant event at the end of the year or something like that, or the annuals.
Exactly. And
But
then you have to get all the back issues and hope you can find them.
Yeah, exactly.
In order to understand every
single aspect.
Thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I did that with the Dark Knight's Metal Saga, so I have everything from the original Dark Knight's Metal Saga individually issued. And then I bought the fucking hardcover. Oh, I couldn't get the deluxe. I got either way, it doesn't matter. The point is, with Power Rangers, there's only 2 separate comics, but the thing is, they're telling 2 separate parts of the timeline. So it's not a different person in the same universe. It's 2 fucking sections of the timeline. Early days and then post Green Ranger. And then because of what happens in Shattered Grid, one whole timeline sort of disappears entirely. So the remaining timeline now becomes the main timeline, and then the new comic splits off into shit happening in two different sections.
Right.
So they go more normal comic book style after that. So, I really do enjoy the Boom comics, and I know there's a new Netflix series, and since now Netflix owns the rights to Power Rangers for producing media, and they're thinking that it's not going to be live action anymore. So they may give us a proper animated version of it, and if they do, don't give us anything we've seen before. Give us the fucking comics. Just animate the fucking comics. Keep it the style. Find some good voice actors that are similar enough to the original Power Rangers, because that's who everybody hears when they talk. I mean, most of them are still around, so I mean, we could literally fucking have them voice their own characters. Shit, I mean, Zordon's still around. Most people who played somebody in Power Rangers are still around. R.I.P. to Trini, though. But it just, if they need to make it better, is what I'm getting at.
Right.
And then aside from that, I got some very interesting news on St. Patty's Day. That day was a hell of a roller coaster in general. I'm not going to go into it in depth right now, but it was just a fucking ridiculous emotional roller coaster from like the moment I fucking woke up to the moment I went to bed. It was just insane. It was an insane fucking day, even aside from drinking some nice beer.
Nice.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Depending.
Yes, exactly. Depending. We'll see what happens.
As you are not going into great detail, I will
I will tell you off air.
That's interesting.
I will tell
I'm
you.
glad you survived.
I will. Well, actually, that is part of it. There was a part where I might have been dead, thanks to a person running a red light.
There you go.
Yes. So, other thing, and this falls into the news category, so I'll roll into that just a little bit here, because Friday, NECA, in their infinite wisdom, teased Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2: Secret of the Ooze specific things. And then over the weekend, they have shown off a movie 2 or a movie 2 accessories pack, which has all kinds of crazy shit, including basic animal form for Toka and Rezar, the wolf and the turtle, and a whole bunch of other crazy shit. The Toka and Rezar 2-pack is coming back out at a slightly higher price because inflation. But if people missed that the first time, cool, now you can get it. Because it was pre-order only before, like you weren't getting it in stores and shit. So if you missed it the first go around, people were really pissed. And that's a fucking phenomenal 2-pack. So
Bummer.
Get it. It's just ever so slightly more expensive. But the thing I'm excited about that they showed off today.
Right.
So they announced that there was a 4-pack of movie turtles coming. And they're coming with movie 2 heads. They're coming with movie 2 accessories. All in the same fucking box. Like you get like the opening scene when they're fighting in the mall, when they're fighting the Foot Clan in the mall.
Yeah.
So it comes with the little Nerf bat thing that Donnie was beating a dude up with. It comes with the fucking sausages on a stick that Mikey was beating up one of the Foot Clan with. And they have
Pogo?
Huh? Oh no, they don't. They don't have that.
Or
surprisingly,
corn dog or whatever it was.
Yeah, but they have a lot of stuff, and I'm like, I wasn't gonna buy another set of turtles. But I might have to buy another fucking set of turtles. I was like,
reel you in.
Well, the cool thing is, like, because in movie 2, the heads were a little bit different. They were a little bit more animated. Their bandanas were a different color. They were more expressive. And, of course, in that movie, they had to change things up because they were no longer allowed to use weapons to harm humans.
Exactly.
That's why they were beating up people with random stuff. Oh, the accessories pack is crazy. It comes with the one by itself. It comes with a lot of the shit from the junkyard fight.
Oh, okay.
Like, it gives you fucking duct tape mouth Raph.
Nice.
And gives you the wrapping, like when they had Raph captured and tied up in the fucking thing. Like, the only thing I think they're lacking from that scene is the fucking net that all the turtles get caught in.
Right.
But they also come with the stuff from the Vanilla Ice Club fight scene.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So they have stuff from that. So Mikey on the keytar, they have the keytar. Yeah. They've got the payphone that Donnie's like. Actually, that's from earlier in the movie when they had the payphone. But it comes with so much shit. Like if you were keen on building dioramas, like you could legitimately fucking really build out some solid dioramas with the shit that NECA is giving you. And
So what scale are these?
say what?
What scale are these?
Their NECA's weird, like 1/10 scale. They're like 7-inch line. So like because they wanted to be different, they didn't want it to be a fucking 1/12 scale. So they just said,
Yeah.
"Fuck it, we're gonna go up just a little." So the closest
Hmm.
scale to NECA is 1/10. But most people just use 1/12 extra accessories if they can. It just might be slightly smaller. Like I need a couch so I can build out my sewer den kind of diorama I want to build, and I cannot find a fucking couch that fits that exactly, and it's really goddamn annoying. But they have the
You can
They
TV.
made
They have their TV.
they made a set from movie one.
Yes, they have multiple sets for movie one,
Okay.
including the accessories pack that came out a year ago or so. That has like the stuff from the farmhouse, Mikey's fucking panda bear, some snacks and shit like that. New heads with new expressions and stuff like that that are all different.
So let me ask you this:
Yeah.
what would be the definitive turtle representation
What
in
do you
an
mean?
action figure? Would it be
Uh,
these NECA figures, or would it be something else that was made?
Are you talking which type of turtles though? Cartoon or movie?
Uh, I'm gonna say movie.
NECA, 100%. You can't get better than this.
Okay, have you seen those DreamX figures that they made? They were like $200 a piece.
No.
I think they are Hot Toys scale, whatever that is.
1/6.
1/6? Yeah, that sounds right. You never seen those?
No, I'm searching.
You can't really find them anymore because they sold out, but they're expensive. They're $200
Oh,
ish a piece.
well, these were cartoons though. They're not the ones I'm looking at are cartoon, not movie.
That's what those are.
Yeah, 1/6 scale, and they're the cartoons. They're actually the funny thing is they're the more modern cartoon. Actually, it looks really fucking nice though. I'll give you that. That looks really awesome. But also, NECA did 24-inch versions of the movie Turtles, if I remember
Those
correctly.
giant ones that sound
Yes,
like when you move them, they just kind of squish and squeak.
yes, but they're the exact same model as these 7-inch ones. They're exactly the same, minus the obvious details that you can improve on at a bigger scale. But like
How much is that set?
those, which set?
The new ones. It's the
The ones
seven
that
inch.
the new ones for movie 2 are 150 for the whole set.
No kidding.
Yeah. So I mean, but
Where do you get
it's
these at?
up from 100. It's up from 100. So, but they're giving you a lot more accessories than the old ones ever came with. So,
No, that's
And
not
where do
bad.
you find these?
those will be available on NECA's website specifically. But most of
Oh.
the time, movie turtle stuff comes out at either GameStop or Walmart. Target has the cartoon turtles from NECA. Walmart has movie turtles from NECA. Now I'm still waiting on the movie one, April and Casey at the farmhouse 2-pack that has not dropped yet. They teased Kino already from movie 2. They've teased normal Shredder from movie 2. But those those figures have not dropped yet. They have not given us a Tatsu yet for whatever reason. I don't know if they don't have permission to use that actor's face or something. I don't know what the deal is, but they have not given us him. But they've given us virtually all the other characters. Like right now at the Walmarts I tend to frequent, I've seen the Orokusaki versus Hamato Yoshi 2-pack repeatedly. I've seen the Foot Clan again. Every now and then the 2-packs of the turtles comes out. Like all 4 turtles have never been offered in a single pack except for the original SDCC set that came out. That's the only time you've ever been able to buy all 4 movie turtles at the same time. Until now. So it's pretty badass. Like it drops on Tuesday, and that's gonna fucking suck. Luckily I don't need Token Razar because I already got him. I don't actually want the accessories pack proper, but the 4-pack of turtles I might have to actually do because I've already got 2 full sets of turtles. So I've got a movie one like kind of in the sewer layers sort of diorama, and then I've got like a battle scene sort of set up. But now
Yeah.
I can tweak things a little bit with that set. But now this is the first time I've ever bought multiples of the same exact characters. Like normally I get my one and done. I don't need more. You know, like Power
Yeah.
Rangers doesn't necessarily count because I have different people kind of swapping out every now and then. But like I've got 2 Casey Jones. I need 2 Splinters. I've only got 1, but I didn't want to buy another Shredder because you could buy Splinter by himself, which was kind of hard to get, or you could buy the 2-pack with Shredder. But I've already got 1 Shredder and I've got Super Shredder. So like, do I fucking need another Shredder? And now I'm thinking I might need another fucking Shredder. Because now I can build out more shelves. But now I'm looking at the idea that I might have like 5 fucking Billy shelves, like big Billy shelves of just TMNT fucking NECA turtles. And on top of that, I pre-ordered the Frankenstein accessories pack that they dropped, which is the table, the fucking all kinds of shit, like from whenever like he's literally awakening on the table. I'm like, well, that solves my 2 Frankenstein problem because I can put one in one diorama and I can have the other one in a separate diorama entirely. So I was like, cool. But now I need to get the mummy. I ordered the mummy accessory pack, which is a sarcophagus and all the shit in the tomb. You know, there's not a Wolfman expansion pack yet, but goddamn, man, NECA is killing it. It's fucking absurd the stuff NECA is doing, man. So it's just one of those things. What? Oh, that's weird. I just got a notification of a text message I got a long time ago. I don't know why. It just fucking came in. Like, I got that message hours and hours ago. That's from before noon. But for some reason, it just popped up. I have no idea. But either way, that was it for my week, plus some news. So aside from that, we do have a couple quick things to go over. Real quick, it was announced that Christopher Lloyd of Back to the Future fame will be in Mandalorian season 3.
Nice.
For some reason, like who the fuck knows? Like he'll be playing an old man somehow, or maybe he'll just be voicing something. We have no idea. We just know that it is currently filming, and he is gonna be in it. That's all we know. We don't know fuck all about it otherwise like that. So that's yay, cool. Like I'm glad he's still getting work.
Yeah, this is gonna be pretty interesting. I would just love to see what he's gonna be playing in The Mandalorian. I can't even fathom a guess.
Because I mean, they could throw all kinds of makeup on him. Who the fuck cares, right? You know. And
True.
he's what, like 70 something, 80 something. He's up there. Sadly, he's still in better shape than Michael J. Fox, though.
Oh yeah,
if you've seen him recently, he's really not doing good.
Yeah, I mean, he is.
His Parkinson's, even though he's literally he's literally on the forefront of Parkinson's treatments, and he's literally created some shit that without his own fame, he would not have lived as long as he's had, and other people who have Parkinson's would not be as good off as they are if not for him and his foundation. So I mean, still, bless the guy. But like this is clearly about Christopher Lloyd, but it's funny that we talked about Back to the Future earlier. But yeah, so
you know what? Or maybe he's gonna be the voice for a droid.
I mean, it could be anything. I mean, he may not be on screen. He might just be voicing something, but I don't think he would need to be on set. And maybe I read that wrong. Maybe they said he was going to set, but who knows? He might just be going to the ranch to do some voiceover.
I mean, he's 83 years old.
Yeah.
He's still kind of. I don't want to say that he's not capable of doing anything, physical wise, but I mean, he is 83 years old, right?
Yeah.
And okay, let's put it this way, okay? As a comparison, okay, he doesn't look as robust as, say, William Shatner, who, obviously is 90, I believe.
He's up there.
Who looks more, physically active.
Well, he's also thicker. There's more to Shatner than to Christopher Lloyd. He's always been skinny.
Exactly. So, I mean, and I'm not putting down, Christopher Lloyd whatsoever, but maybe he's going to be the voice of a droid or something. That will be interesting to see what he's going to do. To
be fair, he also really has a very evil face, so he could just be playing some really fucking old evil Empire person, because we have no clue. We have no idea where Mando season 3 is going at all. Like, because they can do whatever the fuck they want with it. There's no clue. They don't have to use established characters. they can still do whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah.
We're gonna get cameos from, obviously we'll have some weird crossover cameos with something, and they're gonna wring every little inch of fucking new Luke out of them as they can. But we'll see what happens.
Well, of course, because, Grogu is back, so you have to have the
What's that
Cub and
noise?
Lone Wolf, storyline kind of continue.
Yeah,
I was kind of disappointed to see that happen, to tell you the truth, because I don't know. I just wanted to see something new, but I guess, hey, if you got a formula that sort of kind of hopefully still works, well, might as well go for it.
yeah. I think they just, and we talked about this before when we talked about Boba Fett. They need to give one person the reins of the show and stop bouncing around between different directors. Like sometimes it works, but other times it is just a creative mess. And we need cohesion in these shows now. And I feel like that's a good thing about the upcoming Obi-Wan is all under Deborah Chow. There's nobody else coming in to direct
Yeah.
anything else. It's one person. I mean, even though Robert Rodriguez did most of Boba Fett, it wasn't good.
No.
It's like, while Robert Rodriguez is a good director and stuff, he's better in the stuff he's good at. This was just, and studio B,
Yeah.
whatever. We're not want to rehash too much, but just the
No,
idea.
because this was not in his wheelhouse whatsoever.
I'm getting weird.
It was good
background
for what he does is good for the stuff that he wants to do with
Yeah.
his creativeness, with his own franchise. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
But for Star Wars, this was like a total mismatch.
I think it was fine to give him an episode of something to do, but giving him an entire series did not work out. But also, like I
Yeah.
said, studio issues could have easily made this a problem. COVID
Yeah.
clearly was a problem. So hopefully future series won't have as many setbacks, and can be more complete.
If it were me, I would just leave the entire series to Dallas Howard.
I don't disagree with you. But
Because she does really good, I find.
she does. Like I said, I'm not gonna argue that point. I think that, like, of all the directors they brought in to do Mando on season 1, season 2, like,
Yeah.
let them all do their own series. Like, maybe not stick with only Mando. Like, I think the stuff with, so like, she did one of the episodes in Boba Fett, I think, if I remember correctly, and then Dave
2,
Filoni did
if I'm not mistaken.
she did one, and then Filoni did the other. When the
Oh,
two
and
the two
Boba
Mando
Fett,
episodes of Boba
yes.
Fett, those was
Yeah.
so she would be good either, or just give it all to Filoni and let Favreau like sit it out. Like, Favreau, give us your money
yeah.
and let us keep doing this, but stop having some creative direction. But
Yeah.
either way, speaking of people completely losing sight and creative direction on helmeted characters, so early reviews of the Halo TV series are out,
Yeah.
and they are bad.
Yeah.
Not just slightly bad, really
Bad.
fucking bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yet another punch in the gut for fandom everywhere.
and as a huge Halo fan,
Yeah.
to hear what I've heard through this particular article we've got here, which actually compiles a few of the a few of the things here from different people. It's pretty bad. So let's just say this. So just reading one of the reviews here,
Right.
because they're fairly short. Okay, so this is from the Hollywood Reporter. So, not just any bullshit rag.
Yeah.
So the creators Kyle Killen and Stephen Kane have adapted Halo in a way that basically renders it, with the emphasis on basic, a clone of The Mandalorian, or Sweet Tooth, or The Road, or Lone Wolf and Cub, boasting no technological innovation to speak of, few performances to offer meaningful grounding, and only limited action thrills. Halo is aggressively forgettable, which is at least several steps up from bad.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Wow.
The other thing is, from what a lot of people have pointed out, and actually the directors themselves have stated, they didn't even go to the games at all
No.
for their story. They
No,
didn't
they
reach
did not.
out to 343 or Bungie, the creators of Halo, for their inspiration. They did reference the games to understand some of the lore.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, the books. I said games. Books, because there was a lot of Halo books.
Oh yeah, and comics and blah
Yeah,
blah
but
blah. Yep.
at least all the books are in the same continuity. The comics, not necessarily.
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
they only did that for some basic lore, and then they
Yeah.
just started fucking around. They're just like,
Well,
we're gonna do our own thing with this storyline, and I'm
yep.
sorry. I'm very fucking sorry.
Yeah.
They gave Master Chief amnesia so that he doesn't remember his Spartan training and all the hell he went through.
Exactly.
And the story is about him recovering his memories.
Yes.
Fuck you.
And okay, and then guess. Okay. First of all, I'm gonna say this. Yes, because all the games and all the books and all the comics that went out, they follow a whole continuity. They're all tied in together, right?
Yes.
Everything in a nice, neat package.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
This, no. This is going to be a complete new universe.
Yes. That's why they're
all on
treating
its
it.
own.
That's why they're treating it.
That's right. And yeah, just like you said, yep. They're going to touch up on a few points in the other games and the other books and stuff like that. But no. We're going to do things our way because we're Hollywood, right? We're Paramount. We know exactly what we're doing, just like we know exactly what we're doing with Star Trek. No, it's not going to work. It's going to fail, and you're going to have a bunch. See, this is. Oh, God. Yeah, see, now this is going to get me all fired up, right? Because it's the same thing they do with every franchise. It doesn't matter if it's comic books. It doesn't matter if it's movies. It doesn't matter if it's TV shows. It's all these people that these quote-unquote creative people that manage to get in a particular industry, again, whether it's comics, whether it's movies, whether it's TV, whatever, just because they say on Twitter that they're a writer. No, they're not. They're all freaking stupid activists that want to pretend that they're writers, that want to pretend that they're fans, and then go in, and then they're going to input every little freaking stupid activism thing that they want to, right? Like for example, the Star Wars game that they're going to re-release, right? Knights of the Old Republic, right?
Okay.
The one that from years back,
Yeah.
right? Well, they hired some feminist activist to go in and rewrite some of the cutscenes and whatnot. And she even openly admitted that she was not a fan and couldn't give a damn about the storyline, right? This is the exact same thing that's going to happen with this Halo series, right? All of a sudden, mysteriously, Master Chief has amnesia. Well, guess what? Guess what's going to happen? There's going to be some other female Spartan or female character or something like that that's gonna jump right in, and and Master Chief is gonna play basically second fiddle. I guarantee this, and I haven't even watched it yet because obviously it's not out yet. But if I watch it, I bet you that's what's gonna happen, right?
Well-
Master Chief is gonna play second fiddle, and this female character, and I guarantee it's going to be a female character, is basically going to pull his ass out of the fryer in almost every situation and made to look like the hero. Now, not because I'm against female characters, has nothing to do with that, right? You can have a strong ass female character that can kick ass,
And they have those.
but it's the constant message that that men nowadays have to be cucked and put in their place because men, and that women can do everything because vagina. Simple as that.
Well, would you
Simple
like
as-
to actually hear a synopsis? Since you went on that rant, do you want to hear a synopsis of the show so you actually know?
Well, look. You're seeing the same thing with the MCU. It's the same thing, right? Who leads the Eternals? Now it's a female, right? Who now you got Captain Marvel, obviously that's out. The Marvels that are coming out. You have Miss Marvel now coming out in a few months in June or whatever.
Well, that was always coming out though.
Yeah. But now it looks like Scarlet Witch is even going to get her own movie on top of that, her own solo movie. It seems like, right?
Good.
So
she should actually. She should have one. She's a big character.
Yeah, but Stephen Strange. Well, he's going to take the back seat now after number 2, right? So, forget that now. But sigh.
Well, back to Halo. Back to Halo at least. So, okay. So, if you watch the trailer, the trailer does look cool, but you also look at it like Cortana looks retarded, if I'm honest. But
I agree. The trailer does look good.
The trailer looks no, because the aliens look like shit. Cortana looks like shit. They de-aged Halsey. Halsey's supposed to be like fucking 75 at the beginning of Halo.
But I said good, not great.
Yeah. So here we go. The video game adaptation stars Pablo Schreiber as Master Chief. He's a good actor, so that's not a problem. With Yurin Ha as Quan, Natasha McElhone as Catherine Halsey, and Bokeem Woodbine as Soren 066. That's another Spartan. The Mandalorian comparisons, the problem is people have been drawing this, revolve around a plot that sees Master Chief having flashbacks to his past, questioning what he knows, and embarking on a journey with a teenager named Quan. So that's the young Asian female that we see in the trailer. So a helmeted warrior in a sci-fi TV show traveling with a younger companion. That does sound familiar. Now, the thing that I've heard about, if we go to this, so in Halo, yes, there's a lot of shit that is kept about the secrets of the Spartan program, what they did, and that's a huge part of the lore because of, kidnapping children from across the fucking Federation, or whatever they called it, to turn into these super soldiers through torture and body manipulation and surgery and all these terrible indoctrination things that they did. And the thing is, they all know what they went through, and they all fucking the ones who survived. There's very few, if I remember correctly. So if I go back to my Halo Reach lore, George, if I remember correctly, was it George? I think it was George. Is it George or Fred? One of them was the last surviving Spartan 2 that they knew of, and he was a fucking huge hulking dude. Right. Oh, I have the statue right there. I should remember. He's the one who carried the fucking minigun. And then Master Chief is from the Spartan 3 program, and that was where they really changed up a lot of things. Now. That was the last before they started changing things. So the Spartan 4s were a little bit different, but there weren't that many of them in comparison because by then the war had started. And then the Spartan 5s are the ones they developed in the time gap between Halo 3 and Halo 4 and Halo 5. So Spartan 5s are just basically modified normal soldiers in power armor. Now,
correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Once they're in the armor, they're stuck in that armor like basically forever, right?
Yes and no. So Spartan 2s and 3s, their suit has a gel layer and a lot of other stuff like that is semi-permanent. They can come out of the armor because they have to, because at the beginning
because I played a few of the games, not all of the games, and I'm not that familiar with the books or some of the comics because I have a life and I'm a dad.
Yeah, of course. So the thing, the original armor, the Mjolnir armor, is it's an external armor. It's obviously padded. It's mostly bulletproof, impact proof, but it has a gel layer between the person and the thing to help protect against impact and inertias and shit like that.
Right.
And also a little bit of bullet impact, clearly, because for those who don't know, the Spartans were not created to fight aliens. They didn't know aliens existed. When they got far enough out in the galaxy,
That's
they
right.
stumbled upon
The Covenant.
the Covenant technically stumbled upon them at Harvest.
Right.
So
That's
Harvest
right. I
Harvest is
remember
where
that.
it began. It began at Harvest, so it was like basically like a breadbasket type planet.
Yeah.
And they sort of if you play Halo Wars, it takes place on Harvest, at least initially.
Okay.
So Halo Wars, the real-time strategy game, great game, by the way, and the cutscenes are fucking fantastic in that.
Yeah.
God damn it, I knew he was going to do that eventually.
He did it again.
I knew he was going to do that eventually because I was looking at the
No.
Either way, so Shaun's gone again. I wish he'd say something. Jackass. So either way, the point is the Spartans were not created to fight aliens. They were created to quell rebellions on Outworlds. They were made to keep humans in check. So we created super soldiers to keep unruly humans in check. Now, part of that was kept in secret because early Spartan, like the Spartan 2s and stuff like that, were somewhat used for that, and then the Covenant attacked. So there wasn't a whole lot of usage to the original idea, but it was kept secret that that's what was meant to do. So part of the story in the games is uncovering the secrets at Oni. That's their CIA basically.
Yeah.
Who sent me another message? Oh, that's weird. I gotta see who that is. I don't know what that is. Hold on. What is that? Sorry, I got a message. I don't know where it is. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's not a message, it's a comment. Comes across as a message, but it's a comment. Anyways, talking about the NECA stuff, because they made the boxes all look like the movie, the actual VHS box. It's pretty cool.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. Anyways, so if the thing that they're uncovering is the history of the Spartans, that makes sense. But what this game looks like or the show, is uncovering is they discover Halo, but in a very different way. The story of the game is that they were escaping Reach. So Reach was under attack. That was one of the last humankind of stronghold things, and that's where Cortana basically originated. They had found an underground base from the Forerunners that had just an enormous amount of knowledge, like a fucking giant library. And they were using Cortana to absorb and process it.
Yeah.
And Halsey was there, and so they escaped. Like Master Chief was already on the Pillar of Autumn. Yeah. If I remember correctly, it's Pillar. Is it? Yeah. Is that the Pillar or is that forward? Fuck, I'm getting my game backwards. Either way, I think it's Pillar of Autumn was the first ship, if I remember correctly, because there was the Forward Unto Dawn, and then there was the Pillar of Autumn. Either way. So in escaping Reach, they had to very quickly jump into hyperspace without coordinates. They just said, fuck it, we gotta go. So they did basically like an unplotted jump to get away, because the planet is getting glassed.
And so basically, this is Mandalorian meets Lost in Space.
Kind of. But,
oh God!
But that's the story of the game. This is what I'm getting at. That's the story of the game.
Yeah. Right.
This show seems to be borrowing some of that, because we do see them fighting the Covenant. Proper Covenant. They look okay, but apparently some people say the CG looks super generic, even though they're aliens that are very well known. Yeah. And the fact that we've seen these aliens done very well on the small screen already with the individual Halo live action movies that have come out already. Right. Either the Forward Unto Dawn or Nightfall, which tie into the games.
Yeah.
And those were all done really well, with the exception of the Master Chief from Forward Unto Dawn. I just didn't like that armor. It just didn't look good. And I'm going to say this. Hold on, Mike. Give me a second here. I am very, very tired of this modern concept that they have to put the Spartans' number blatantly on the armor. I'm tired of it. It looks stupid. Like all the way up until Halo 5. Chief did not have 117 on his fucking armor.
No.
He didn't. It wasn't until they did the Halo like anime. They did like the Animatrix, but with Halo, so they did several small stories. And it wasn't until one CG version in that was a really cool mission that he did with a bunch of other Spartans.
Yeah.
Did he have 117 on his fucking armor blatantly?
No, he did not.
They did not. And now every fucking
not
new
one.
version does. Every version does, including the toys, and it pisses me off. Because I
noticed that, right? It's like, okay, here's the reasoning I'm going to use here, okay? First of all, they're in a squad, right? Obviously, there are different Spartans, let's say.
Yeah,
right?
they are. They all have names. They have names and numbers.
Armors. Right. They have different names. They obviously know who they are to each other, right? They're a band of brothers, right?
If they are, yeah, because they
exactly.
There's squads of different types, and they may not know each other.
You don't need a freaking number.
Not blatantly.
No.
You identify yourself otherwise.
Yes, exactly.
Now,
Plus, on top of that, this is the future, and they're wearing obviously futuristic armor. Sorry. So obviously, digitally speaking, if somebody's monitoring them, that tag number is transmitted regardless. You don't need it on a freaking. Oh God, you don't need it on armor. No, I'm sorry.
The only thing that even like it makes it one Master Chief stands out.
Yeah.
He's he's like 7.5 feet tall. He stands the fuck out. Okay, so Spartan 5s are all normal people that are slightly augmented, but they're adults. They were adults who were augmented they're wearing power armor. Master Chief was a massively modified human. Like, we're talking bone grafting, muscle attenuation. Yeah, all this insane shit. They beefed up their brains. They fucking literally engineered and built superhumans.
So basically they Captain Americanized them.
They did. But like the best
to the
thing
to
the nth degree, and the Mjolnir armor makes them taller. So one thing that in the MCU goes a little out of there is how the Iron Man armor actually gives Tony Stark a little leg up, because his feet are not touching the bottom of the Iron Man armor feet. They're like 5 or 6 inches thicker than that. So, but with Chief's power armor, he's literally like 7.5 feet tall. It's fucking nuts. So, like, while they were made to intimidate and corral human beings, not to mention being super strong, durable, fast, be able to use God knows whatever, whenever they're amongst other people, it's pretty goddamn obvious who he is. Yeah, it's not like, hey, what's that giant green dude over there? It's like, I'm gonna go with that's a fucking Spartan. Now the thing is, since the war, most of the Spartans were wiped out, with the exception of Master Chief. Some went missing, or as they like to say, a Spartan never dies. They're just missing in action.
Yeah, they're just AWOL.
Well, no, that's literally in the game. That's a quote. They're literally Spartans never die. They're just missing in action. So even if they never come back, they might be dead, literally, but they are all only marked missing in action. However, some of them, they just sort of got folded into doing other things behind the scenes, because we still needed to bury what the fuck Spartans were for. So, like, for instance, from Halo Reach, most of Noble Squad or Noble Team dies outright.
Yeah.
June, on the other hand, leaves with Halsey. Never to be seen again in the games. But apparently in one of the books, he does come up doing some other stuff. Now, that was their sniper. So, in theory, June is still out there doing other things in the storyline, just has not ever returned to the games. Now, mind you, Reach was 343's first foray into it, and it was kind of an open thing, but then again, so was Halsey. But then, of course, we find out way more about Halsey as the time goes on. And you find out more and more about the shit that she was researching. You find out more and more. So the longer the story goes, the more backstory we've got on the Covenant, the more backstory we've gotten on the Forerunners, and even the original war that the Halos were created for in the very first fucking place eventually comes out in the games. It has a massive fucking decades long fucking thing of fucking lore, and they said, nope, we're gonna come up with our own shit because we don't need it. It's like, and I get it to some degree. You do have to adapt. You do.
Yes.
However, you don't adapt shit that is vital to characterization. Master Chief is
Precisely.
the way he is because he knows all the shit he's been through. Like,
Yes.
and you can see, like, he, while being the good little soldier that he was created to be, he
Yep.
does question authority as shit comes up. He also has some interesting. He does have the hero factor. So yes, he's got to be the center of so much shit because of quote unquote destiny. But you know, that's just part of it, right? You know,
Right. But
this
as
is your
this-
main character thing. But this, I don't understand, like what they did with Cortana in what just in the way that. Well, let me just say this. So the way the
Yeah,
trailer
yeah.
makes it look is that he's introduced to Cortana, and like, here's your fucking AI. Here you
Yeah,
go.
for the very first time,
And
right?
that's not how
No.
Cortana and Master Chief ended up together. They just
No.
happened to be on the Pillar of Autumn, and because Noble Six got Cortana to the ship as it was launching, and then
Exactly.
he fell back down to Earth, or well, to Reach technically. And then
Yeah.
Master Chief was locked up in stasis. And at the beginning of Halo 1, you're given Cortana to protect and guide you, but you have no fucking clue
Everything.
why she's in your
Exactly.
head. And he's never had an AI companion. That's why it's important that he gets Cortana this way.
Yes.
And that's
And precisely.
that's super important to the characterization and their relationship. Now, this is only the way that
but this, no, we're gonna throw that all out the window. We're gonna do it our way.
Yeah.
You literally have an entire Bible, so to speak.
You do.
An entire
You have an entire wiki.
galaxy of history to go through, right? No, we don't need that. Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Because it sets the tone, it sets the characterization of each and every Spartan out there.
Yeah.
It goes through every series of events. You have multiple storylines you could have easily have picked, right?
They could have done
You could start just from the beginning.
They could have done anything. They could have They could have picked up anywhere in the timeline. It didn't even have to be directly Master Chief related, but people still will eat it up. Now I get it.
That's right.
If you're gonna do a Halo, if you're gonna do a Halo series, people want to see Chief. And
So, as this is coming out on the 24th,
yes.
what? Okay.
Now, mind you, it's also on Paramount.
Yeah, Paramount.
Oh.
Is it Paramount or Paramount Plus?
Paramount Plus. You know what I mean.
Paramount Plus.
But I mean, it's not going to be on a normal mainline streaming thing. I know a lot of people have it, but I don't. I don't have that.
So what are your hopes?
Hmm?
What are your hopes for this series?
I have none. I didn't from the beginning. As soon as I saw what,
I was hoping that there might be at least one.
No, I've got nothing. So, okay, here's the other thing. Paramount didn't half-ass this. It's rumored.
No,
it's
they didn't.
over $10 million an episode.
Yeah.
Not a cheap first season, and they already renewed it for a second season without even having the first one put out, and then the first one has horrible fucking reviews. That means they are banking on it to do something. But here's the thing, and this is what one of these reviewers actually said: why the fuck would you make a well-loved series for everyone but the people who know and love it?
Exactly.
And that is one of the best ways I've ever heard it put. So it's one thing when you're coming up with your own shit. Let's say Star Trek Discovery, as an example. Just as a specific example, it is a new thing to the Star Trek universe set in a gap of lore that we have nothing for. It interacts a little bit with proper history.
Yep.
A little. And then, of course, just whatever liberties they have to take due to technological advances, all that nonsense. But it's something brand new. You're not fucking really with pre-existing canon. Now, they might flub a little things here and there with whenever Pike took over the Enterprise and blah, blah, blah. Who cares? That's not that big a deal, realistically. But it's not like they came in and said, we're going to redo DS9 and pretend that you know nothing about it, and it's a whole new goddamn thing. Or, well, I mean, even J.J. Abrams said, all of my shit is in a whole separate universe due to timeline changes.
Yep.
And so that was his excuse for making a remake that was so very, very different and still actually fairly well loved. It's like, because it didn't spit in the face of the fans that loved it. It actually it said, hey, look, we're going to do these new things with this thing, but we're also not going to shit on what came before.
Oh, but yet they are.
What?
Oh, they're shitting away.
Oh, well, I'm not even going to go into that stuff.
Well,
I'm talking about,
I mean, let's put it this way. Let's put it this way. Since around the end of March of 2021, right?
Mhm.
CBS, look, basically CBS, Paramount, whatever, they've changed their names so many times by now. It's like changing underwear, right?
well, they keep getting,
Like it's CBS and it's Paramount, then it's Paramount Plus, then it's via CBS, then, but since 2021, March 2021, their stock is tanking. And
Yeah.
it's tanking bad. And you can even look this up, right? The common stock, right?
Mhm.
It's bad. It's very bad, right? Plus, on top of that, let's see the ratings on top of that. And I looked this up. The ratings, for example, for Discovery, okay, and this is back in God. Let me think here now. I think around September was like 0.21. Like basically the viewers in the millions, right?
Mhm.
It's like 1.712 last I checked, right?
Yeah.
It's low ratings, right?
Well, aside,
I mean, this even beat like a remake of One Day at a Time. Like,
Yeah.
no, sorry, it didn't beat it. It came under it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, this was even under Clarice, and that was by Kurtzman as well, and that got canceled, right? So with, for example, Brave New Worlds, now they're turning Kirk bi, okay, and I'm not kidding, okay, the tweet is out. They're turning Kirk bi, and now on top of that, they're doing this with Halo. This is not going to be good for them.
no,
Like,
they need to stop fucking
they've
with things.
renewed it for a second season without even knowing what's going to happen in the first season. How the people are going to be, how the fans are going to be viewing it. It's not going to be good. And that review on top of that saying, essentially it's not made for the fans.
Oh.
No, it's not. Sorry.
You just knocked over some shit.
No, it's just basically there. It's
That's what I'm
essentially the equivalent of clickbait. That's it.
It is.
Period. And at $10 million an episode, like, you just screwed yourself majorly.
Yeah. Now, some people did have some slight positives to say, but most of it was just like, and one thing about it is apparently they of course want to leave it on they want to leave it on kind of a cliffhanger to drum up more. So I think that the point is that they took one long story, split it into 2 seasons to guarantee they could get a second season, whether or not it's worth even getting there.
Like, I don't know why these people in these studios, in Paramount, at Fox, at Warner Brothers, it does not take an ounce of mental processing to go, you know what? Okay, we want to do X series, right? What do we know about X series? Well, this and this and this. Okay. Is it a video game? Is it a comic? Is it, this and this and this? Yes, it is. Okay. Well, then who's the most knowledgeable of the fan base that really knows this stuff inside and out? Oh, it'd be this person or that person. Doesn't matter if it's a man or a woman, whatever. Doesn't matter, right? Okay, let's hire said person. And maybe they can coach us, on how we can go about making a series. Or let's hire the direct creators of Series X.
Yeah.
And they can help us so we can make this the biggest profiting show that we can release. But no, this is all that they do, right? All they do is they read a few things on Wikipedia, and basically that's the most biggest mistake that you can make, because Wikipedia is, it's user generated, right? Anybody can
Yeah.
go and alter or put whatever they want in it. It doesn't matter what it is, right?
Yep.
That's they go read a few things online and they figure that's it. That's it, period. Right?
Yeah.
When that is not the case. Simple as that. And this is what they constantly do, right? This is what's going to happen with this series, and that's why it's going to tank so hard. I mean, granted, like I said before, I've only played a couple of the video games. I haven't read the books or any of the indie movies that were out, or any of that. But I did like it as of the few games that I did play, right? And
Yeah.
I do want to watch this, but I do want to enjoy it because it's in line with everything else that's out there,
Yeah.
right?
Well,
Because it'll make me want to explore those expansions of what I played more.
yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what
Right?
you're saying.
Yeah.
I was gonna read you this other critique in the same article.
Go ahead.
Because this is the one that really stood out to me.
Okay.
So this is from Eric Francisco at Inverse. I'm not aware of Inverse, but then again, I'm not aware of most publications. So it's The Mandalorian, it's The Last of Us, it's Logan and Leon the Professional in space. It's a story trope that's trendy in the ether, but never wears out as long as the stories are exciting, fresh, and smart. Halo doesn't excel at all of those qualities. That's a hell of one. That's a terribly grammatical or the sentence is terribly grammatic. But all right. But here's continuing the quote: nauseating CG aliens dull the show's action. It's a bad sign when the game's live action trailers from over a decade ago feel more visceral than the actual series. Those live action trailers from back to the Believe trailers were fucking ridiculous. I'm getting chills thinking about them.
Yeah.
Which actually didn't tie into the game at all. They had never, none of those live action trailers fucking had anything to do with what happened in the game, but they were hype as fuck. Anyways, none of its ongoing plot threads seem to think beyond the heartstrings. The show's many mysteries remain locked behind Abram-esque mystery boxes.
Oh, wow.
Which feels like an obligation in the streaming era than a purposeful creative choice.
Oh, boy. Oh, wow. To even make that comparison to Abrams, oh, boy.
Yeah. So here's my problem with it. And from what I was scanning while you were talking,
Yeah.
I think you're wrong in the female character comes in to take over as lead. What they're using it as she is the character that warms his hardened heart. Except that is directly replacing Cortana.
Yeah.
As the person who does it. It's like, Chief does care about people technically, but he only has like his limited friends, and then other than that, it's just duty. Like, that's all it is. It's like, Cortana is his main driving force and has been since the moment she was plugged into his fucking head.
Yeah.
To give him this other fucking human character that he's got to sidekick with through the series to, I don't know what the fuck happens. I guess something happens on the planet that person, I guess Quan is a character. Something happens on that planet, whether it's the Covenant or something, but there's this whole research thing being done by Halsey and all this shit. So it's like they combine part of Reach with some earlier parts of the storyline, but they don't let it work out that way. And that's what annoys me about it. And here's the biggest goddamn negative to the series and will keep me from watching it, probably.
Right.
In episode 2, he spends most of his time with his fucking helmet off.
Oh.
Showing they clearly do not understand.
No, they don't.
Master Chief's face has technically never been shown.
No, never, ever.
Now, hold on. The end of Halo 4 Legendary version almost shows his face. Like, that is where the first time in the series you see his armor come off. At the very end cinematic on the Infinity.
But you don't see his face.
Yes and no. You don't really see his face. It's very close up when the helmet comes off and you just see into dark eyes. Like you don't see his
but
you don't see his
see it yet.
well in the normal ending, like only the
Right.
legendary ending you get that. In the non-legendary endings, it cuts as the helmet comes off. So you see
Yeah.
nothing of a face. That's the closest you've seen of Master Chief's face, cuz you know what doesn't fucking matter, much like it didn't matter until the Clone Wars. The
Yeah.
fucking face behind the helmet never mattered.
Yeah, exactly.
The
No, it
man
doesn't.
the man under the inside the suit comes out without being seen, and that is a giant thing for this. Like throughout all of this history, modern Spartans take their helmets off a lot because they're
Yeah.
not dependent on the same technology, and they weren't superhumans that were developed to wear this armor 24/7 until they had to have it replaced. And there's even ways around that to where they don't get super exposure to a lot of things when they're switching out the suits.
Well, I think I can probably rationalize why they're doing it that way. in
Because they
episode
used
2,
a named
okay?
actor to fucking do it, and they have to take the helmet off.
Well, yes, okay, because first of all, I want to reiterate. Okay, yeah. So what I meant by help by a female counterpart, right? I'm
Sure.
thinking female Spartan. Okay, not
Well,
necessarily.
there is a female Spartan in it, but I don't believe she's going to be that important. Odds are she's going to die fairly early. If I'm honest with you,
We'll have to find out. That's
well,
all I'm saying.
I'm just
right?
well given.
But yeah, Master Chief is basically the Mandalorian. This Quan is basically Baby Yoda,
Yes.
and everybody else is the supporting cast.
Yeah.
Now, for the episode 2 thing, right?
Yeah.
When he takes off his helmet, yeah, obviously haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
Have to wait. But if he does, it's basically probably more than likely because Botty there that plays the Mandalorian. Excuse me, because I hate it when I draw a
Pedro?
blank. But yeah, Pedro Pascal. Okay, he was known for literally complaining on screen that he couldn't take the helmet off, right?
Yeah.
Because he wanted his face out there because he's playing a popular character, and on top of that, because he wants his face to be shown, so essentially, so he can get more gigs, right?
Yeah.
So people can see his range, and I kind of understand that being an actor.
To be fair, yeah, because they
Like,
could literally
yeah.
just use your voice and you never do anything
Precisely
acting,
right.
And I get
So I can
that.
understand
And I
that
get
as
that
an
part
actor.
of it.
So I can see this in relation to episode 2. If this guy takes off his helmet so many times or leaves it off for an entire episode, I can see that, right?
Except that it's intrinsic to the character that he doesn't take his helmet off, much like the Mandalorian.
Precisely.
But
right?
they at least in the Mandalorian they made it a very specific reason he couldn't take off, or at least show his
Yes.
face. They
Yes.
didn't say he couldn't take his helmet off. He couldn't show his face to anyone. Unlike
That's
Master,
right. So in that they wrote it very smartly.
yes, they did,
Right.
and they used it
Keep
very.
it-
I think they used it very well in season 1.
That's right.
And
But
but
this,
this is very different. This is a
Yeah.
character that's intrinsic, that his face has never mattered. Now with
Yep.
Boba Fett, specifically Boba Fett, we
Yeah.
know what he looks like initially because we see every clone. We
That's
see
right.
Django. We know he's a clone
and
of
he's not
Django.
held by the Mandalorian.
And he's
code.
not held by the Mandalorian, that creed, as it were,
Right.
because it's not everybody. It's that particular foundling, whatever they call themselves, the whatever watch creed.
Yeah.
But that's still written into the character, but it's also not intrinsic that they can't take their helmets off because of some type of safety reason. It's just that
Yeah.
to keep their identities down, and also why they never showed themselves all at once. But with Master Chief and with the Mjolnir armor, it's pretty much part of it. Now,
Yeah.
this is the one thing that mattered in the later series, the later games, where the Spartan 4s, probably 4s and 5s technically. Am I wrong? Is it Spartan? I think maybe I have my numbers wrong. I think Chief was a 2. I think Chief was a 2 and George was a 1. He was the last surviving Spartan 1. Either way, the point is, because I think the Ghosts of Onyx, the book, takes place with a squad of Spartan 3s that all end up dead there, and then it's actually what's his face, the major or whoever, I forgot his name off the top of my head, the guy who's always with Chief, the black guy.
Yeah.
So, but the point is that none of them took their helmets off. One, because nobody knew how many fucking Spartans there were, and at that point, they weren't very individual. They all had the same green power armor, the same Mjolnir armor.
Yeah.
So part of it was the confusion of never knowing how many of them there are, and they all look the fucking same. You know, not to mention the space helmets, all this kind of shit. So they're always good. They have their own contained environment, so they can go anywhere they need to, and they're protected fucking in any battle. That's the point.
Yeah, exactly.
And
that's
then,
the point of the armor.
Yeah, and then later on, and also the fact that they're basically built into the armor with the way the protective layer and shit like that works. Later on, they don't need that in the later technology because of the way that they're augmenting
technology
humans.
Developed.
The technology developed and all that shit is different. And so the fact that even on the Infinity, Chief does not have his helmet off walking around.
Yeah.
Like, the only time you see it is when he gets changed out for the new armor. And that's the only time you see his helmet come off. And once again, they tease his face, but they don't show his face. And then everybody else, because these new characters most of them are actually proper actors, including Nathan Fillion and a bunch of other people, and most of their faces are modeled directly off of their own faces. So it's the same concept, except Master Chief has never had a face. So, like, to now make this guy Master Chief's face is a little weird.
And what's going to happen, it's now going to see a ripple effect in the games itself.
Probably. But that depends, because I have not played Infinity, so I don't know where the story goes.
No,
and I want to.
It generally ends up happening that way anyway.
I know,
right?
but here's the thing, though.
Put a face to a character, even though it didn't need a face.
Yeah, it did.
You know,
and I'm gonna be honest. I don't like his voice. I don't like the way he's imitating the original Master Chief voice. The dude's still around. He's still voicing Master Chief. Why the fuck couldn't they just get him to do it? Like, it's just like the Mandalorian. His voice is a bit different when the helmet's on. They literally could have had the same dude, Steve. God damn it! Why can't I remember his name? It starts with a B. They literally could have had him voicing him the entire time the helmet's on, and then the main actor doing it otherwise.
See, that would have worked.
Hold on.
Right.
Let me look
it's like in a way, it's kind of like in a weird way, you can't imagine anybody else playing Optimus but Peter Cullen.
Exactly.
When you've been used to it for so long.
Steve Downes, that's his name. Yeah, Steve Downes. And
that's
and he's still around. He's still around. I just had to double check. I mean, he's 71, but like, he's still fucking awesome. Like that. I mean, he's an iconic voice, just like Optimus Prime, like you said. There's so many voices that are intrinsic to the character because only one person has fucking done it forever. Anybody else, and here's the thing, I think even in the other live action movies that at least Chief was in, which was Forward Unto Dawn, he was in that one. And I think Steve Downes voiced him in that one. I'd have to double check real quick, but like, obviously he's not in the armor. It was some huge motherfucker doing it though, because like, but I mean, Chief interacts directly with these cadets. So they're on a planet where they have a training facility, and they're young cadets who are going through the UNSC, and the Covenant attack, and start taking out their facilities, and you follow these like 4 or 5 cadets as they're trying to get out of the fucking planet, and of course the Forward Unto Dawn is the ship they're trying to get to, and so Chief comes in, and now, mind you, it's a little cheaper. It's an inexpensive show, as it were. They're like using the proper school and like even maybe some old military barracks and shit like that as a representation. Half of the fighting happens in a forest at night, so you don't have to worry with a lot. But like, they got this big hulking power armor of a Chief. Now, mind you, he doesn't move as fast, but they do camera tricks and stuff like that. But they also have him fight 2 fucking hunters in the forest. You know, the giant hulking fucking Covenant warriors that are really goddamn hard to beat, and he fights them on his own. Now they also have him in the back of a warthog for part of it, you know, through the battle, which is pretty cool. It's one of those ones that they actually did build, you know, on a truck base, which is pretty fucking cool. But that is still, in my opinion, better than what we're getting here, even with the giant CGI fest. Because also, one, if he was voiced by the original actor and Chief doesn't have to take his helmet off or anything else like that, people see him, they know the legend of Master Chief, John 117,
Yeah.
and instant respect, instant, like, you're in fucking charge, cool, let's go.
Yeah.
Nobody's talking shit to the fucking 7.5 foot tall fucking demon, you know?
Well, no,
It's like
exactly.
mechanical looking demon person, you know? It's just like, I mean, because you know the Covenant call him the demon after, especially after Halo 1, when he, you know, he is now known. Like, even though they've interacted with other Spartans throughout all of this, they fear Master Chief.
Yeah.
Like, the legend of Master Chief is now spread because of Halo 1. And like this, like, as far as I can tell, so far doesn't really do much of haloing. They're mostly on a different planet. Now they're just using it as an overall title. Now maybe they do end up on Halo, or maybe. or it's the quest. It's like, I think they borrowed a lot from Reach, or the fall of Reach. It's what it seems like. It seems like that's where all of these things happen at the same time. But Master Chief was not active on Reach. He was in a stasis pod.
The 24th, I guess.
Yeah.
In 4 days.
Well, I'll find out after the fact. I'll watch reviews, but I won't watch it. It's just fucking stupid. To my point.
I'll watch just for curiosity.
I also don't have Paramount, so I'm not going to bother. Unless it comes out somewhere else that I can watch it, I'm not going to give them
that's
money
what torrents are for.
Yeah, that's what I don't like doing that. But either way, because I do think that's what they're going for, because there are other Spartans involved. The only time that Master Chief is interacting with other Spartans is early days. Like, it would have to be there. And that would also make sense. But also, still doesn't make sense that he would fucking take his helmet off. Because you shouldn't at all. Like, well, here's the thing. This is the other thing that matters to a degree, and I'll bring this up because in Reach, several of the other Spartans did take their helmets off. Cat and Carter, I think, is it Carter? I think it's Carter. So most of the Spartans in Noble Squad did not take their helmets off. I think even George took his helmet off too, because he was like very gruff looking. So they can take their helmets off. They can. But like most of them choose not to. But like also, and those weren't like known actor faces or anything. That's actually the first time we saw Spartans without their helmets on. I know.
Right.
I figured. That's why I was gonna wrap it up. But either way, it's gotten late and I have to work in the morning as well. So either way, guys, sorry, that was supposed to be a short conversation, it ended up being a long one, but it's fine. It's all podcastery. So unfortunately, this is not going to come out on the normal Monday morning that it normally would, because I have no time to sit here and edit it. I got to go to bed. So it'll be coming out later in the week. Unfortunately, you guys will notice this, obviously, because when it's going to be available. Obviously, down below, all pertinent links to the stories we talked about, not to mention our individual channels and or things like that, either for Mike, the Comic Relief Crusader, or for everything for me. And a quick reminder that this will be the last episode that will appear on our individual channels, and it will from now on will be represented on its own channel. So you guys need to subscribe to that once it's up. You know, obviously I will post a link to my socials and stuff like that whenever we make that change, so that you guys can come subscribe to the new channel, or obviously just search Now You Made It Awkward podcast.
That is correct.
Yes, and we will see you guys the next time we see you, whether that's next week or earlier. Also, for anybody who's in the wave of the pretty ridiculous storm and weather that's going to be coming through this week, please be safe. Apparently tomorrow is going to be extremely bad here in Texas. So yeah, they're talking like 1 day hurricane kind of level of fucking weather.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so it's going to be pretty severe. So hopefully I'm home before that happens.
Well, then be safe.
Yes. So, and then it's not going to be isolated to just Texas. So anybody who's going to be in the path of this hellacious kind of last little bit of winter, early spring storm, please be safe out there. You know, and
well,
just get
we
through it
got
all
snow
together.
today, so
yeah, there you go.
Last snowfall. That's it.
The last time we got snow was in April of 2020. So that was our 2021. We actually got snow in April. So fuck it. That's Texas too. All right, but guys, see y'all later. And once again, we still don't have a sign out for this, so we'll just say, okay, bye.
Arrivederci.
Just fucking Shaun and his cave eyes.
Yeah. Damn it.
Where's he stop?
I see her rolling up, Uber black Cadillac, high heel boots and a sexy body full of tats.